My name's Jake Chamseddine. I am a photographer, videographer, born and raised in Portland, Oregon. So 2 cameras, 2 lenses, shattered completely. Bama popcorn started because I fucking wanted popcorn really bad. Brendon never wanted popcorn. Honestly, Panic, they're fucking amazing, dude. They put me on so hard, man. To this day, Brendon's one of my best friends. I fucking love that dude.
Absolutely.
Like, I never knew I was going to have to learn how to expose flames correctly on pyro from an EDM show. You know, like I was like, being a creative sucks. It's toxic as fuck. I think in the music industry, there's definitely some things that need to be worked out with mental health. I mean, you're missing New Year's, you're missing Thanksgiving, you're missing Christmas a lot of the times, you're missing like all these family gatherings. The Vero Crew has changed more people's lives than I think they fucking imagine. I've never talked about this shit this in depth. Yo, can I just say this has been awesome? Thank you guys for having me. This is fucking weird. I've never done anything like this.
And we're back with a very special edition of the Second String Show. We got one of Oregon's own right here in the studio with us, iHeartMedia here in Portland, Jake Chamseddine.
Hello.
Oh, studio round of applause.
Studio round of applause, you know what I mean?
This is weird for me, man.
Is
this
weird?
Is super weird for me, yeah.
So, of course, this is your first, like, official podcast, but...
Yeah.
So,
100%.
letting it out on the table. We're going to,
throwing it all out
air
there,
out the dirty laundry, call some exes. No, I'm
You're
kidding.
fired
We're
from
gonna
every
get real
job after
dark and
this
dirty.
one. Just
Nah.
be completely fired.
Oh, we're excited to have you on, man.
Yeah,
Really fun.
absolutely, man. Yeah,
No,
thanks-
I'm
thanks for
excited. I'm
joining
really
us.
excited.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
so-
for having me. Seriously. It's gonna be rad.
Thank you for coming. So,
Totally.
special guest, Jake Chams, on the podcast. We're going to talk basically, your story, music, photography, Oregon, maybe get into a little Trailblazers talk.
Cool.
Just like backstory, I guess. So
Yeah,
we all pretty much went to Oregon State here,
Yeah.
Jake, Grant, and I.
this is really awkward right now.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Tom.
you
Not
got,
John.
awkward
You got
right
the
now.
boot.
Go
yeah,
Beavs.
no, I do have
got
the
the
boot.
boot.
I did play at Beaver Stadium though. That kind of counts, right?
Okay, fair.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Did we win that time?
No.
Yeah. Figured.
See, the fact that you called it Beaver Stadium and you
It's
don't
cool.
know what the actual stadium is, that says something.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point. I'm just saying that's what Penn State calls. We call it Beaver Stadium, but like
That's
it's
fair.
weird. Anyway,
It's Beaver
I'm
Stadium.
digressing.
Yeah. So Jake and I, we kind of grew up together. I mean,
Yeah.
Power of the Jakes.
Yeah.
Best name in the room.
Jake
Very
on
cute,
Jake.
yeah. It's a very adorable.
But yeah, it's kind of full circle here. We just want to have you on. You're home finally.
Yeah.
Laying
Yeah,
down
man.
for a bit for the holidays, but
Totally.
yeah. So we got some questions to ask you later on. This is kind of just your whole spiel, your story, and let's get
I love
into
it, man. Yeah, let's do it.
But
Let's do it.
before we do,
Okay.
in honor of per se, your first official podcast,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
podcast. I won't say that. I was gonna say
You can. I know what you're about to say it. You might as well just go ahead and say it.
popping the
There
podcast
it is.
cherry.
There it is.
I'll say it.
There's my Jake.
Damn.
There's
my
you
Jake.
taking that from me?
Hands up.
All right, fair. You guys can
So-
have that. I'll give you that.
I mean, in honor of that, we've got Jake's beverage of choice. We got some tequila in the studio here, so
It's lit.
let's do a shot raised.
Cheers,
If
boys.
if anyone's
Cheers,
looking,
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
woo.
I love tequila.
As he says it with a straight face.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, I apologize to everyone out there that just heard our tequila ASMR.
That's a good ASMR, man. Could be worse.
Is it? I wonder if there is such thing as strictly alcohol ASMR. Just like sipping.
I'm not
like,
going to be the one to Google it because
It's
I don't wanna see
2019.
it.
There's probably
Yeah.
something like that.
I can tell you right now, there is definitely alcohol ASMR. Don't ask me how I know that, but
I'm not gonna ask.
Oh man, so I mean, let's just start things off. We, of course, for anyone out there watching, this isn't like the typical. We don't want to make this the typical Jake Chamseddine, like Q&A or anything. So we know your supporters out there. They know a lot about you. They know, where you've came from,
Yeah.
sort of what you've done so far. So we kind of want to maneuver the streets of the in
cool.
betweens.
I love that.
Make
yeah,
it unique.
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Yeah, just kind of like delve into the things that you've wanted to tell these guys out there watching, and
Sick.
just talk about anything and everything, advice and
Cool.
some fun stories. And yeah,
Absolutely, man.
just
I love it.
no
I
better
love
way to do it than your hometown. So,
Yeah. Portland, man.
yeah, just to start off, for anyone out there that may be watching that doesn't know you,
Okay.
just kind of a rundown of yourself,
Cool.
where you're from,
Yeah.
what you would consider that you would tell someone you do.
Sick. Yeah. I mean, this is forever changing what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think my name's Jake Chamseddine. I am a photographer, videographer, born and raised in Portland, Oregon, greatest city in the world. And
love it.
And I do music and live music photography. Kind of like a documentary photographer, if you could. And then Yeah, man. I travel around and take photos. The creepy guy with the camera in the background, taking photos of music artists and running around and creating content and trying to keep up with whoever I'm working with.
It's awesome.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah. And I did forget, before we do go farther, for anyone out there that's new to listening, you can follow us at Second String Show on Twitter and Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube. And then Jake is at Jake Chams.
Yeah, at Jake Chams, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube.
Get it all out there.
Plug it all.
You got the / Jake Chams on YouTube?
No, my / on YouTube is Snow503 Border.
Oh, shit. YouTube, help the man out.
We all have one of those accounts, so that's
for sure.
like...
My YouTube's broken. I'm going to have to rebrand all that next year, but I want to get into that world for sure. But that's a whole
nother conversation.
I don't know if I should be putting this out there, but I don't really care. You know how you can't change your name on Snapchat?
Yeah.
So it's too late now, but my name on Snapchat is Rip City J-Mac.
Wow. Rip City J-Mac.
Anytime someone asks me,
I love that it's
I'm
like
not
all,
gonna
they're
call you
all
J-Mac
like
ever in my life.
503, like Rip City, like Portland, names. You know, you
it's
like
all
rep it
connected
hard.
somehow.
When you're from Portland, people love to tell people they're from Portland. Somebody told me this the other day. They're like, people love to tell people they're from Portland, just like a vegan likes to say that they're vegan.
Facts.
Shit.
No,
You know what I
it's
mean?
the truth,
Like,
though.
it's true.
It's
And
so true.
coincidentally,
100%.
there's also
It's
a lot
so
of those
true.
in Portland.
So, like,
I'm from Portland. We can smoke weed all the time.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It
It's
rains, but we love it.
Someone told me that the other day, and it made me laugh because I was like,
That's
"Damn,
awesome.
no,
I
you
hadn't
are
heard that.
so true."
It's
That's
so
a
true.
fact.
Because vegans really like to let people know that they're vegan.
Yeah, there's
They're-
a lot of like those like
Respect,
you know what I mean?
though.
Yeah,
No,
vegan
it's
out there,
fine.
100%,
Do what you got to do,
100%.
but like, I don't need you to tell me like the first 5 minutes when I meet you. Hi, I'm at such and such.
I do.
Oh,
that.
by the way,
I say it all the time. I say I'm from Portland within the first 5 minutes of me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are like, "Yo, what's your name?" I'm like, "Jake," and they're like, "Portland."
See,
I'll
okay.
rep it as hard as I can.
but
man.
that's love though.
I fucking love this
Something
city.
that is a gripe for all you Portlanders out there watching. I know we both grew up in
Yeah.
Tualatin.
Tualatin. Yeah.
Do you say that, or do you roll
No,
to
I
Portland?
say Portland for
Okay.
sure. Just because, like, I mean,
If
for
you get mad
example-
about that, like,
well,
you're
it's
kind,
not
you're kind
even-
of.
It's
Come
honestly to save time because it's like if they're like, where
No one
in
knows where Tualatin
Oregon
is.
are you from? And I'm like Tualatin, and that's like a whole nother 15 seconds of being like,
Yeah.
it's 20 minutes south of Portland or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like at the end of the day, it's literally just to save time.
Yeah.
And like to be fair, I lived in Portland, downtown. I did the whole thing. Okay, I'm from Portland.
I live there
say
now,
that.
so
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
fairly
So,
say Portland, but
yeah.
go Tualatin Timberwolves.
Portland,
For,
yeah. Let's
go to-
for all our
Okay,
fellow
okay.
Tualatin
Tualatin
alums.
Timberwolves, bro. What the
But
fuck?
that is like an interesting way to start this off, though, because you rep Portland in everything you do. I
Yeah.
mean, it's your home base now.
For sure.
So let's start of like for the people that know a little bit about your beginnings in college. We can go into
Yeah.
that before we get into too much of the the fun stuff and the glamorous stuff. But
Cool.
just like everyone else and some people out there that may be watching this,
Yeah, man.
everyone started with like nothing and you just had a passion. So
For sure.
go back to those days when you were 8
I
years
mean-
old. I've always known you to be the skateboarder, snowboarder guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, honestly, I've had a camera in my hand since I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. It all started with me skateboarding and snowboarding,
Yeah.
like you said. I wanted to document like everything me and my friends were doing. So I would have a camera. I would film us just like being complete idiots on skateboards. Take like whatever camera I could up to the mountain. And really the reason I started doing it all was just to like document like what I was doing because I thought it was cool. I thought it was like, yo, this is sick. I can go back and rewind and like watch exactly what I just did. Like this is tight. And then that obviously transpired into wanting to make videos and wanting to create photographs, but nothing really serious, honestly, until I got to like college. And then around that time is when I realized that like I had this thing that I had been doing forever. I was like doing the graphic design in high school and then like making recap videos of random events. I worked at a summer camp for like 4 years. OASC, it's a leadership camp. And I was making recap videos. When you had to like, you would film on tape and you would have to like load in the tape at real time and then like cut that up like in fucking Final Cut Pro 7 back in the day. And it was like, yo, that was like a whole thing. And then literally starting from just like making videos for fun and then going to that summer camp, working for a week and making like $200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be like, yo, this is tight. I just made $200.
Yeah.
Making fucking videos. That's sick. Then going to college for new media communications at Oregon State.
Yep.
And I think I got a little bit more serious there. I started a small production company called Left Brain Media. Left Brain Media was like me and my roommate at the time just trying to make some like extra cash, like put together some.
As every college student.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably does.
Because everyone's poor in
100%.
college.
Hey, you're doing it the legal way.
Yeah,
The
the
right
legal
way.
way.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
legal
of
way.
course.
Yeah.
Good, clean
Yeah,
fun.
I decided that I couldn't sell drugs because I had too much anxiety about getting
That's all very fair.
kidnapped.
Yeah.
You're
or-
also like
or-
too nice of a guy, so I
Yeah,
feel
I
like,
was like, I couldn't sell
someone would
drugs.
be like-
Someone would be like,
You're a narc.
50% discount. You'd be like,
okay.
Okay.
I got
I would,
you.
I would definitely think if he was trying to sell me drugs, I think he's a narc. I'm like, dude, you're a narc.
Yeah, for sure.
Get out of here with this shit. Do you want something? No, I don't. You're the cops, bro. Get out of here with that shit.
I couldn't sell drugs. I couldn't go to jail either. If I was in jail, I'd
Oh,
fall
no.
apart.
No, I'm not going to go to jail either. So, anyway.
But no, started doing like essentially we would go to random events around Corvallis, Oregon, which is where Oregon State is, and we would sneak into concerts with our cameras. Tom would take video, I would take photo, and we would post it to Facebook and put our watermark on it, like we were hired to shoot the event. When in reality, we were sneaking our shit in and
fake
just
it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Love it.
At the time, like no one was watching. You know what I mean? Like no one was paying attention or even really stoked. Well, the only thing cool that we saw was we were gaining an audience, which is like free exposure. You know, like
Organic,
we were like
too.
organically growing something.
Yeah.
And I think that was my first glimpse in seeing how social media works and seeing like what you can get out of it. Like
The importance of it.
totally 100%. Being able
Yeah.
to like get online and like. I mean, you just showed me a DM I sent fucking Oregon State's.
You got to put that
It's
out
like
there. That is incredible.
Battle of the Bands, Damn Jam, DMing them, being like, "Yo, do you guys need a photographer?" In like 2014.
That's the way
You
it
know
is
what I
in
mean?
college.
Like,
That's
it's
when
just
you're
like-
pursuing it. That's the way it is.
I was like, "Yo, any event going on, and like whatever it was." Like I remember I was shooting like fucking like the science fair. You know what I mean? Like I was
Oh
like
my
showing up
God.
at the science fair, like trying to make a recap video of
Yeah.
like the science event. Or,
But
like,
it's also practice for you as well.
100%. Like
And
I was
that's- and
learning
that's
every
something
step
good.
of the way.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. I think people want to get they assume that you can you pick up a camera and then you learn how to take photos and you learn
Yeah.
how to import your footage and then you get to Z.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
It's
in
like, no,
reality,
you
it's
have
like
to go
you
out
go
there
through
and
the whole
practice.
fucking
They see the
alphabet.
final product on
Practice.
your
Exactly.
Instagram. They're like, oh, that's
Exactly.
just some tweaks.
Exactly. Like,
He
oh,
shot-
cool, you
he
cut
pointed
up
it,
and, like,
yeah.
And then at the end of the day, like and the cool thing is too, every event you do and every edit you do, you force yourself to have to learn something new. So like a huge example for me that I think has helped me along the way is like fucking up the way I imported the footage or shot the footage or exported the footage and then realizing that there's these crazy lines in the footage and it's like, why were there lines? And like using social media like YouTube to go in and like learn that shit. So I think it's a huge learning curve. And if you think you're gonna get to from A to Z in overnight, you're not.
Failure is a part of success. So like you have
100%.
to fall down to get back up and learn from
Definitely,
it. So
definitely.
that's something that you just had to learn.
Yeah, and I think that's fair for like any aspect of life. you
Yeah.
know? Like if you're not failing, you're not doing
No.
doing something right. Like at
100%.
the end of the day, like if you're not learning and just fucking up, like you're not doing something right.
PSA to the kids listening, please fuck up.
Yeah, please fuck
Oh,
up, and
absolutely.
it's
And
not
learn.
bad. Fucking up is better than almost succeeding. If I could, I would go back and fuck up even more than I did. Like, for sure.
100%.
And I think taking it back to your start in college and left brain and stuff is like something a lot of people can resonate to. And I'm sure anyone out there listening that is, if you're a trooper and you've stuck with the podcast back when it was a radio show. I mean, Jake and I, we both did NMC at
Right.
Oregon State, and our LA co-host Jeff, who's going to be calling in later, he was the same major as all of us.
Yeah.
And I kind of brought Grant in as my radio co-host
Yeah.
because I knew we both loved Blazers and talking sports and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But it all comes to fruition just because I asked to intern on Alex
Totally,
Crawford and an alum's sports show.
Yep.
exactly.
Kind of got like 2 terms in. I was like, I want to do my own radio show.
Yeah.
Came from there, and that's the same with Left Brain. Is like you look back, I'm sure
For
is the
sure,
is the
man.
I'm sure the content
I
is
still
up
have
there.
decided I will never delete that. Just because like
there
I
you
go
go.
back all the time and I look at it and I'm like, yo, this is tight. To see
It's
that,
the,
like,
the beginning, just like
See
the
where you
DM
started.
too.
the hustle is
Yeah.
like part of the fun, man. Like
Mhm.
honestly,
Oh, yeah.
if you're not enjoying the hustle, you're not gonna enjoy the outcome. So like, why even do it?
Because like
know
you
what I
said,
mean?
when
Like,
you were
it's
going
like-
out and making those recaps, like
yeah,
not many people were watching. When we did it as a radio show in college, what, Grant, maybe a handful of people at best were listening to us.
yeah.
But we did a 2-3 hour show just because we
I
loved
think we're lucky
exactly.
if we had
Just
one
because it was
person
fun.
listening
You
to
almost
us.
like watching it more than anyone was probably.
It was like
going
being-
back and being
because
like,
it's something that you're
this
creating.
is
It's
sick.
the
Exactly.
process that you're doing
Exactly.
it, and it's like this is me, and we're being creative
Yep.
as like a collective, and it's
Totally.
fun. And not many people might not watch it, but we're doing it instead of just sitting on our asses watching TV.
But also,
Yeah,
who
exactly.
in college can
Drinking.
say they're in a radio studio?
exactly.
That, you know,
Totally.
we started
It's true.
in the slums, and the good studio. I'm sure
Totally.
you've seen the new studio at
Dude.
Oregon State.
Were you in the shitty one?
The shitty one.
Bro,
We
it was
were.
so gnarly,
And we
bro. I learned how to like rig shit in that studio. That shit was bad.
It was bad.
Like, it was seriously like they hadn't updated it from like 1980.
Did you know Mike Barrett went to Oregon State and was in that same studio?
Really? Holy
Yep.
shit! Mike
We
Barrett's
we reached out to him and he called in and gave us some advice too. But
That's sick.
kind of where it all comes full circle is like we all did that shit in college. And to anyone out there watching too, kind of we'll steer Jake's story there later because he's a big part of this. But when you started Left Brain and all that stuff, like you just gotta start it.
You gotta
like,
do it, man.
Yeah, like
you think,
like what kind of advice do you have for those sort of people who
In
have
the same
a passion
position, yeah.
and are in the same
think,
position as you?
I think it's. I mean, there's so much to be said about it. You know what I mean? Like I could go on forever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think it's like finding what you're passionate about, and then executing that passion as much as you fucking can. In order to not even like the end goal should never be to like I want to make money doing this. Like you should 100% be doing
Never.
it.
The money
because
will
you-
come eventually.
Exactly, 100%. So if you're sitting there and you're like, yo, I love photography, or I love videography, or like whatever your passion is in life, you know what I mean? Like as long as you sit down and you chase the fuck out of it and you are enjoying that chase, like it's naturally gonna happen like over time. Like you can't force it. You also have to be smart about it, right? Like you can't be an idiot. You can't be like sitting there like, oh, I love making videos, but I'm not gonna make a video. Like I'm not gonna. It's cool, but I'm not gonna do it. Like you have to go do it. Like you have to live and breathe whatever you love. And as long as you stay true to that, everything else is gonna happen naturally. Like for sure.
And even if the rewards don't come
For sure,
ever,
man. I didn't
if
get
you
fucking paid shit, man.
But you enjoyed taking photos.
Kick my ass, dude. My dad's really successful. You know what I mean? He's an electrical engineer.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh yeah. So he's definitely hard on you.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
growing
no,
up, he was like forever, man. I think literally not till 2 years ago he finally looked at me and was like, all right, like I get it.
That's
He's like,
amazing.
I bet that was
you know
a
what I mean?
surreal
Dude,
feeling.
That's
for you.
gotta be the best feeling out of
Your
all
dad
of
like
it.
looking at you saying, "Hey, I'm proud of you." You're like,
it's
"Oh my
like, yo,
god,
that shit's nuts."
I've
Like,
been waiting for you to say
I
that
battled
so
with him
long."
for so long about like what I was doing. He would always ask me like, and I didn't fucking care. Like I could care less, you know what I mean? But like he'd always be like, "Did you get paid?" And I'd be like, "No," and he'd be like, "Like you have like." I mean, he's Lebanese. He's Arab, so it's like coming from there. Like it's so cutthroat as far as
He's
like
on your ass.
you know what I mean? Like it's culture. It's like you go to school, you get a good job, you raise a family, you do this. Like, and I get it. I fucking respect the shit out of that. If that's your hustle, go and do that.
Absolutely.
But like growing up, I knew the whole time that was not
My
my
mother's
life.
Brazilian, so I know how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So
not- it's-
especially honestly, any culture outside of America, like it's fucking crazy,
it's
man.
Nuts.
It's like
it's nuts.
and it's also like modern day times. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Being able to like have that hustle online. Like a lot of parents just don't get it until they see it.
And at the end of the day, too, like, can you really blame them when they didn't grow up with social media, so they don't understand the importance?
Totally.
Like, to us, they'll see, like, oh, you're spending so much time on
Yeah.
that goddamn Instagram, but
sure.
they don't realize that
I'm sitting here like DMing 200 people,
the amount
200
of time.
managers that I can fucking get a hold of by stalking every fucking
Yeah.
artist Instagram I can.
Yep.
In order to get a hold of one manager to maybe say, yeah, you can shoot a show for free in Portland.
And talk
Like,
about-
you know, like,
yeah.
it's fucking wild.
Totally. And talk about kind of, I mean, I guess the power of that kind of, just growing your career from kind of the ground up. I mean we're kind of
dude.
in a different time than, 10 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just completely changed. Just talk about kind of the power that it has and had for you specifically.
Yeah, I mean everything's at your fucking fingertips, man. Like at that, like before, within the past like 4 years, like before that everything was at your fingertips, but especially in the past like 4 years, like you can, dude. I've gone as far to say that I've searched code on the internet for emails. You know what I mean? Like if you really want to find and get a hold of someone, or if you want to contact someone, you can. And at the end of the day, if they say no, then they say no, or they just ignore it. And like you could sit there all day DMing 100 people, just being like, yo, check out my work, whatever it is. Like, yo, check out my work. Even if one person checks it out, it's like, all right, tight. Like,
Totally.
and there's also the backspin where it's like, don't be like
Don't be
abusive
desperate.
about it. Yeah,
Don't be desperate,
like,
but like just shoot your shot. Be like, you know
Shoot
what?
your
Like
shot.
I have enough stuff that I can show you that I think you would like.
yeah.
So
for
here,
sure.
if you don't like it, then fine. Like
Yeah.
I'll move on to the next guy.
Exactly.
But if you do view it and it's like
Exactly.
it works out, then
Yeah.
let's work together.
Totally. Yeah.
So
And I think another thing that to tack onto that, too, is don't feel entitled.
no,
Like, just because you're
never.
emailing or DMing,
never,
To this
never.
no
day.
one owes it to you to respond.
No one knows shit to anyone. I mean,
You don't
no
owe
one
it to
knows shit
anyone to
me.
respond.
Yeah, exactly.
But like down the line, just like happened with the DMs
totally.
that you just saw from your Oregon State days.
Exactly.
Like,
It's like
at the worst case, it's going to be the best story when
yeah,
that
for
artist
sure,
you've been DMing
true.
for years, you then organically meet
True.
them and you be like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, by
Hey,
the
remember
way.
that one time you didn't respond to my damn DMs?
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Look at me now.
What's good?
Let's fight. No,
No,
But
I
it's
mean,
just like, yeah,
I think
that's the biggest part. Just
I wrote
Shoot your
something
shot,
about
the
this
cliche.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it up real quick just because I had time to like sit down and actually think about this. But I did a thread on how to get into music photography.
Oh, by the way, I love that thread.
Have you seen that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
It's
looked
very
over it,
helpful. It's
and I
very
was like,
helpful.
I appreciate
yeah,
it.
of course, man. It's
No,
good. It's good stuff because there's a lot of kids out there who are like, man, I love taking pictures. How do I get into
How do
it?
I
And you
morph that?
basically like, I read the entire thing and I was
Yeah.
like, I have a camera, shit. I might as well just do it myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like, I do
totally,
other things as
totally.
well.
Yeah.
But like,
I
there are
love
kids
that.
out there who read it and like, okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because some
For
kids
sure.
are just trying to figure it out, but you gave them that thread. So
For sure.
thank
man.
you for that.
Yeah, thank you for reading it.
Of course,
Appreciate it.
man.
See,
So-
nice guy. Not a drug dealer.
Not a drug dealer. I could
He's a
never
narc,
deal.
he
I
is.
could never fucking deal drugs.
Which is a
Um,
preview of the thread, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So I'm just gonna read this verbatim, and I think
Why
this
not?
I think this honestly, at the end of the day, whatever, especially creative outlet you're looking to get into, I think you can use this to your advantage.
Love it.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's how to get into music photography, a thread. Want to start out by saying this is just my advice, learning every single day. No direct way to get into any industry, but I hope this helps a little. As I said before, no direct way. Other than photography, your worth ethic and good character. So, I mean, I think that goes a huge way in fucking anything you do in life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
good character, work hard, and like at the end of the day, everything else is gonna happen naturally. Build a portfolio on any app or website. Instagram is the number way to do this, in my opinion. At least when I wrote this, I still think
Still
to this
is.
day, yeah,
Still is.
Still is.
Instagram's probably the biggest
like
one,
your
so.
total portfolio.
It's
You
also
can-
become people's default way to communicate too.
for sure. I mean,
Which-
like when you like I remember a tour manager asked me like a couple years ago. He was like, "Yo, do you have a business card?" I was like, "No, I have an Instagram." I was like, "You know what I mean?"
It's,
Like,
it's just as good,
it is,
if not better.
If not better, like you can
It's
see
the
my
changing
character.
of the guard because
yeah.
that's what people usually will ask. Like I actually got asked before I got here because I was talking to some guy and he does. I can't remember the top of my head, but he wanted me to shoot some stuff and film it.
Yeah.
And he asked me, "Do I have a business card?" And I said, "I have an Instagram."
Yeah, you can check that.
And like
yeah.
he was a little older, and he's like, "I don't have one of those." But like
Totally.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
what it is now. As a business card, is your Instagram, is your social
100%.
media.
Transitioning over.
It is like it's just like what people have to like get used to now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a LinkedIn or whatever. Because business cards are
Get
just
used to it.
like, but,
Yeah,
like,
It's facts though.
This
but
is-
it, but like
this
it's
is
fucking
facts though.
facts.
Yeah.
We're about to be in 2020.
Yeah, man.
No one wants to hand out business cards anymore. We
No.
don't do that
I'm
shit
trying to
anymore.
pay for business cards.
Like I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter, and I have a LinkedIn. If you want to check me out, check on there.
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Hands
that's
down.
who I am. Like
Yeah.
all of my shit, my personal stuff is on there.
Hands down.
So
100%. So, and again, I want to say that I think this is specifically photography, this thread, but I think like the next thing is reach out to a local venue, ask to shoot brands or artists that come through. Say you'll provide them with images and promotional material. Say you'll do it for free if you need to. And I think you can do that same with like radio. You know
Anything.
what I mean? You know, like anything at the end of the day, like whatever thing you're trying to get into. Look at bands, Instagram pages, look who they follow, try to find a tour manager, management, someone in the crew, someone that works at whatever venue they're at, you know what I mean? Reach out to them in a polite way. Email as often as you can, magazines, other photographers, managers, reach out. I said here, literally research code on websites and able to like find emails. Build
That's
a community.
sneaky. I love that. By the
Yeah,
way.
super sneaky, bro. I would literally go on, or was it Chrome? I'd go on Chrome and do inspect code or whatever,
Yep.
and I would just open everything until I could find like an at, and then
You
I
know-
literally would fucking email. I didn't even know what the at was. Be
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, photographer looking, like, would love to document
Mhm.
whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I was
That's
like, I don't know
awesome.
who I'm
Yeah.
emailing right now, but this
Quick
is tight.
side note on that too for anyone out there that's in that same position.
Yeah.
Don't be pushy about it, but
No.
just what
yeah.
you said, the code way is a good way around it. And I remember when I was a freshman in college,
Yeah.
I just wanted advice and wanted to connect
Totally.
with people on the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
I literally just emailed Mike
Yeah.
R, and then I tested out Mike
Yeah.
R, Mike at trailblazers.com. I was like, let's just see if this works.
Yeah.
I got an email back from Mike Rice,
Wow,
who gave
that's
me advice about
amazing,
broadcasting
dude.
and said,
That's
like,
so sick.
if you ever need anything, let me know. And then fast forward, when I interned there,
That's
I
so
ended up
fucking
chatting with him. But
That's sick, man.
reach out, like you
Yeah,
said.
for sure, 100%. And then the next one was build a community, and I think that's fucking huge. You know what I mean? Like you guys have done here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like just building a
Support
group of people
system.
who are like they have the common ground, and like they are chasing the same type of thing.
Same goal.
Like
end
if you
goal.
surround yourself with people who are like hustling and doing the same thing, you're gonna want to do.
Of course.
You're gonna want to hustle harder.
Of course.
Or like go after it even more, and it's gonna push you because
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, yo, this is tight. Like all these people, you kind of brainwash yourself to think like, oh, this is what everyone's doing, and like sometimes I take a step out of that world, and I'm like, oh wait, not everyone's doing that. but I've surrounded myself with the people that are doing that.
Yeah, that's
and
what's
like,
important.
That's like super helpful. So,
Yeah.
dude, I'm fucking wrong.
I know it's hot in here. It's getting there. For like, I guess my question for you right now is like, you're talking about people that you were surrounding yourself with during that like beginning stages.
Yeah.
Do you have any of those people that you still are in contact with at the
Yeah,
moment?
man.
And are they doing kind of the same thing you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of in their own lane a little bit. But as far as like photography, there was like a super strong like Instagram community when Instagram first started coming up. Like a lot of landscape photographers specifically because like P&W, like Pacific Northwest, a lot of kids were coming through and like doing all the landscape stuff, going out to the
Which
Cape
is
Kawad,
understandable. Like,
yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like
I did that, so that's how I started. You know what I mean?
it's a
Like,
good way to practice. It
for
really
sure,
is,
and learn your
especially out here.
camera.
Oh
like,
yeah, 100%.
Learn editing and all that stuff. We would literally go on like. We would drive to fucking Washington, like Palouse Falls, which is like 11 hours away. Just to fucking shoot
You have to
sunset
be
and
committed.
drive back. Yeah, for sure. Like we would
do
do
the
whatever.
shit that no one else wants to do.
Exactly.
It's the
And we were
cliche.
just-
Like
totally, but we were having so much fun doing it, dude. You know
if
what
you're
I mean?
with people that like doing the shit you want to
totally,
do,
like,
it doesn't matter who's listening, what you're doing.
Not once were we like
Shooting
yo,
a
this
science
sucks.
fair.
We were like, this is fucking tight.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh hell yeah, I'll drive to fucking Banff, Canada. Bet. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna drive fucking 14 hours. To
Banff?
Banff National Park.
Canada.
Have you heard of
Banff
that?
is beautiful.
No.
Fucking sick.
I mean,
beautiful.
it's National Park.
National
knowledge,
Park. It's
I guess. It's
wild.
absolutely beautiful.
It's fucking wild. So
I'm jealous that you went to Banff.
I've gone, dude. I've drove there 3 times for fun.
What?
Because I'm like, yo,
Must
I
be
gotta
beautiful.
Go see
No,
it. It's fucking gorgeous.
It's gorgeous,
bro.
dude. It's gorgeous.
They have National Park in Iceland.
How do you know Banff, John?
I've looked it up before. Like
It's
I've
like
been to
Yosemite.
Canada.
I feel left out. Grant, do you know Banff?
I had no idea that existed. No.
Look up Banff
I've wanted to
National
shoot
Park.
out there.
That
I
shit's
actually want to shoot
fucking
out there.
I
gorgeous.
guess, I guess we got to go to Banff.
That shit's tight. Have you guys seen Banff? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're like
For anyone listening,
I guess the photographers.
those are the camera guys.
Yeah, the camera guys over here are like, oh, Banff? Oh, yeah, you know Banff? I know Banff.
Banff is lit.
Oh my god, that's so sick. Yeah, man.
But you're traveling all over the place.
Running around like an idiot, dude.
All over the
like
place.
a fucking idiot.
I'm gonna kind of take this in a different direction. I think a lot of people would ask, like, what's the favorite place you visited? What's like,
Damn.
what's actually though? I'm gonna take it a different direction.
Yeah.
Like, what's a place that you haven't gone yet that you're like really looking? forward
Ooh,
to
I like
going?
that.
Wish list? You probably have a wish list.
I
You-
do.
you do have a
There's
wish
this
list.
one. There's this island. It's called Faroe Islands.
Okay.
It's south of Iceland. It's like and I don't know if it's a ferry or a flight, but it's like a island that's like twice. It's fucking small, dude, and it's south of Iceland. That is a for sure want to go. I got offered to go to Antarctica last year and I couldn't fucking go, which sucks. So I'm like, and you have to get invited by the government and shit. Like,
Really?
Yeah, you can't just like fly out there.
I think you're like,
Like,
a,
there's a
a
whole-
penguin poacher.
There's like a whole process to make fucking get
I
over
mean,
there.
look at him. He looks like a narc, so.
I'm fucking.
You know what I mean?
I sell drugs.
Jake is going to Antarctica to
This guy
sell,
looks like he sells drugs.
sell
We gotta make
drugs
sure he can
and
come
murder
through.
penguins. So
Yeah.
keep this man out.
Mhm.
Not gonna lie though, Faroe Islands sounds like a Disney movie.
I mean, fuck, dude. I guarantee you there's a bit. I feel like Star Wars. So much of Star Wars was filmed in Iceland, bro. I
Yeah.
guarantee you it was filmed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
so that's number. Is that number one on the list?
Faroe Islands number 1. Antarctica number 2. Where I haven't been to like Thailand. Anything like that.
okay.
I really want to go there. I think that'd be fucking tight.
Nice.
But it's crazy, man. I've been so fucking lucky. Like,
All-
I some of my favorite places I've traveled to growing up, I would have never told you in a million years that I wanted to go there.
Or
You know what I mean?
expected to even
Yeah, or like
find yourself there.
for sure, dude.
That's awesome.
Going on
Fucking
a
crazy.
not so positive note.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your least favorite place? You don't have to shit on it too much, but maybe it was hectic situation for work.
Or it
but
could be a situation where you were like, I can't wait to get there, and then you get there and you're like,
And it wasn't
this
what
is
you
not
expected.
at all what I
Yeah,
expected.
yeah.
yeah.
Which means you're not shitting on it. You had high expectations. It's just the expectations were not met.
I think the cool thing about traveling is everywhere I go, there's like a silver lining, you know? Like like you said, like maybe you didn't enjoy it, but you got to see that culture and like experience that.
Mhm.
So it's always been fucking cool to me, even in the shitty situations that I've been like, this sucks. But looking back on it, I'm like, yo, that was kind of tight. I think recently I just went to China for the first time.
Mhm.
And I don't know if this is just because it's fresh in my mind or not, but it was cool to be there, but I was like, yo, I want to go home. Like this, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
like we flew like on 15 planes in like 12 days, and we were like,
Wow.
and I think we went to 4 cities in China in 2 days. or some shit. Like, it was fucking nuts, man.
Your immune system either must
Fall
suck
apart.
by
You
now,
wanna know some crazy
or
shit?
it's like,
if you don't mind me asking, and this was on, I'm assuming, the Panic
with Marshmello.
With Marshmello.
Yeah,
okay, this
was
is
recent
Marshmello.
with
You said
Marshmello.
10, 12 flights in 15 days?
Yeah, we were on like 12.
Holy.
No, 15 flights in 12 days. Some
how
crazy
often
shit
do you
like
get
that.
sick? Are you
How-
popping
do you
airborne
sleep?
like
I
it's
used-
M&Ms?
No, I don't sleep.
Okay, I was about to say.
have fucking horrible insomnia and anxiety. No, but I don't know. I don't really get sick anymore until I get home. When I get home,
It hits.
I fucking, dude, it punches me straight in the
Right.
face. I'm like,
Because your body's so used to moving so much. And then when it's
Yeah.
like, oh, let's settle down. It's like, oh, no.
You need it.
You're
Yeah,
not going to
no,
settle
it's
down.
like-
You
my
need
friend.
those few days. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm not moving. I'm not doing
yeah,
anything.
I'll get home from a tour and I'll just like
Slump.
slump for like 3 days and wake up.
I bet,
like,
man.
Teleported. I'm like,
Jeez.
what? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
What's
But,
the longest, I guess, day you've had? Like, you just, like, no sleep. You just,
Because you
been,
hop
like,
time zones, so technically your
And
Bro,
days
we've
are
gone
like
we've
multiple,
gone like
right?
two days straight. Like we've done like you
and I'm
land
assuming,
somewhere.
and I don't mean to cut you off. I'm
No, you're
assuming
good.
you're like, you're going and then you're also editing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Jeez, man.
we
Okay.
go from like we'll land in a city. Like we flew from Seattle to China, right?
Yeah.
Land in China that night, have a show. Fly after the show to another city in China. Get there, have a show, edit the photos right after that. Get back to the hotel, flight the next morning. You know what I mean? Like it's like 2 days of just
Yeah.
being like crack it. And this didn't happen recently, so the EDM world is different. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
the pop world, like with Lorde and Panic, like
Mhm.
it's much less like that intense. But
EDM is a lot
EDM
different.
It's a lot
is, like-
easier to travel for them. Less like I would assume less moving bodies, or is
yeah,
that,
less
or is
moving
it?
bodies, but it's also, and I think it's easier to maybe set up a show too, just
Yeah.
because there's you're not bringing a stage and like
I feel
a
like EDM
crew.
is just like, it's like a clusterfuck of like everybody like in one area. Because like I know it's
A
just like
lot.
I know Marshmello. I'm not
Yeah.
saying like he's probably the headliner, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming there's a bunch of other people just like going along with it, and it's just a party, a constant.
Yeah, well,
going.
it's super professional actually. Like it depends on what artist you with. Like obviously
yeah.
depending on like what, but at a certain
Yeah.
level, like it gets very professional.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that like you can do that with an EDM artist. You know,
Yeah.
like you can have your 2-hour set that you have to do.
Mm.
And you don't have to take an entire rig. All you're taking is like the CDJs. Like
Yeah.
you're just taking
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and going to the next spot. CO2 is everywhere, lights are everywhere, lasers are everywhere. Like you can move that, but
Oh, yeah.
at the end of the day, you can't really do that with like a big pop act. And whenever Mello has like a tour or something, I guarantee you won't be able to have 2 shows in one night. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna be having your show
Mhm.
at the venue and then like whatever. But just recently, it's been a lot of one-off gigs, so that's why you have those crazy fucking 48 hours of what is happening. At a certain point, you just black out. And you're just like head down, just
You're
do
just
the
enjoying
thing.
the moment.
You just do the thing.
Yeah.
You don't even know if you're enjoying it sometimes. You're just like a
Yeah.
moving robot. You're just do the thing. And then you
Yeah.
get to your hotel room and you're like, whoa. Like that was fucking wild.
Yeah.
You're basically just like your own boss. You're just kind of doing your own thing. So
Yeah,
it's
to a
just,
certain extent.
okay. Yeah.
I think management obviously plays a huge role of it, of being like, we are looking for
need
this
this.
deliverable
Yeah.
from whatever you're shooting.
Yeah, but for the most part, you're just kind of like, okay, I should go here, take this shot, and go here. Let's get behind Marshmello and shoot a video real quick.
Yeah.
Constant,
During
like-
the show, for sure, it's like
Yeah,
own
yeah,
boss,
yeah.
like and like editing and the style of edit. I mean, people hire you based on like what your. And I feel like in the music industry, especially as far as photographer, videographer, they're hiring you based on how quick can you turn something around, how consistent can that be, and how good is the final product at
Yeah.
the end of the day. I think all 3 of those things play a huge role into getting hired as a music photographer or videographer. There's a lot of other aspects in it. You have to be able to hang. You have to be able to like not bitch, stay up for 48 hours like a crackhead. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But I mean, there's a lot that plays into it for sure.
To sort of take it back, because I know now, you're kind of a veteran in it. You've kind of turned your own system into a well-oiled machine, I would assume,
Try
for what
to.
your process is. But let's take it back. Sort of, we're jumping timelines here, but
Yeah.
when you were back at Oregon State, that you started networking, you started shooting hip hop shows in Portland,
Yeah.
and just as we've talked about networking, never be afraid to talk to someone. and,
Yeah.
this is my Instagram, this is my work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure things were a lot more hectic back then, where you're balancing schoolwork and your passion.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Go for it.
no, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing about being in school was my major was new media communications, which is like a generic degree in film broadcast production, all that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then what I wanted to do was photography and video.
Yeah.
And school for me was easy because what we were learning at that level, I kind of had already done.
Yeah.
So I was like, I literally would do it was nothing. Like
I'm sure your professors are like, we know you're fine.
Yeah, I was like,
You're
at the end
doing
of the day, I was like, this
Three terms
basically
ahead.
how my communication classes work. I was like, I already know how to do everything.
Totally.
So just
You're like, I get
what do I
this.
have to do?
Like, and when it's natural like that, like I had a lot of extra time to be able to push like what I wanted to be doing. So I got lucky there for sure.
That's actually, I'm kind of now recanting on my question too, because I think that's something that a lot of people take for granted too when they are in college is, it's so funny. I'm contradicting myself.
No.
But you have the classes and the homework and the studying, but if you're not passionate about what you're doing in college, my advice is, one, switch majors. Never be afraid to switch.
Yeah.
I started as a graphic design major, same as you.
Yeah.
And then I switched to, marketing, but then I picked up NMC as my minor because I started doing TV and broadcasting and stuff.
Yeah.
And where you're doing that, and that's part of you earning electives for your major or your minor, it makes everything worth it. But you also have so much downtime that we all know the people in college. Like, I'm not ragging on anyone. College was a blast.
Oh, sure, bro.
We
I'm
all
the first person to
so
tell
much
you.
fun.
I fucking raged my
We
face
all
off, bro.
consumed. I mean, we've got a few red cups in front of us, but we all consumed our fair share of adult
We know
beverages.
how to drink. Let's just say that we all know how to drink.
Set a good example, John.
I know. I'm trying my best.
Lake Shasta,
I'm trying my
2015.
You're Lake Shasta video
But-
too,
Fucking-
I mean, it's
my
also
first viral video.
yeah.
dude. I remember that. What was that like?
But-
That was like before Barstool was
I
a
got
thing.
put
But
on
they
Playboy.
Playboy.
Playboy's website
Oh,
posted
Pinnacle.
that
You
shit.
should-
I was
That's
like,
Print out that
amazing.
shit. Frame it.
Platinum
Platinum Platinum Plats who? I was on Playboy.
I deleted the shit out of that video, bro. I was like,
Oh,
I
no.
can't have
Yeah.
this in the. Yeah.
But when
If you
you
guys can
have,
find it, tweet me that fucking video.
I want to see
Someone's
this.
gonna
I
find
missed
it.
that.
Someone
I'm sure you
someone
probably
can
saw
fucking
it. It was
find
literally everywhere.
Lake
Yeah.
Shasta.
It was the
I
first
probably
time.
Was it
saw it, and I
2016 or
just-
It was
2015?
2015.
2015.
Because I believe it was the first time someone, for anyone out there that doesn't know, which is probably a lot of you, where Jake, Grant, and I went to college, Lake Shasta, and for a lot of colleges, is basically where students pack onto the boats, go out
Like
into a lake
hundreds of
for 2 to 3 days and partake in very naughty
Debauchery.
activities.
Behavior.
Straight debauchery. bro.
There's not a lot of food consumed, a lot of alcohol
A
consumed,
lot of liquids, we should say.
Liquids.
a lot of bodies touching,
a lot of raw chicken patties eaten.
a lot of
Oh God.
But that was one of Jake's
Dear God.
first videos that popped. And I remember that was the first time someone truly like documented Shasta.
Bro, I remember that video hit like some stupid amount of views, like 200,000 views or
Yeah.
something. And like the first day I posted it.
It's just all these other people who don't know, like, well,
Bro.
like who wish they were in like certain college situations. And
Yeah,
shit
they were
that.
like, "Oh, that's tight." Looking back on it, I'm like, "Don't like." If my sister she just started
Oh,
at
no.
Oregon State her freshman
You're
year.
like, oh,
I'm like, "Please
Don't
don't,
go to
fucking
Shasta."
go. Please don't go. For the love of God, don't go to Shasta.
oh
Like,
my
don't."
god.
That's
But-
so funny.
Like
Yeah.
what you did there with Shasta is like the thing that's beautiful about college for all of our college students out there watching too is like take advantage of those downtime and moments like that where you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just make something out of nothing because I have time to do shit. Like Grant and I I made for one of my classes, it was like you could make any video you wanted, but I made it like a history of second string, and we did like a sort of
Tight.
like it look into KBVR on radio. So it's like if
Yeah.
you have something that you're getting provided the assets for in college that you
Yeah.
can flip into something that's useful to you,
Yeah.
fucking do it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree with that. No, what's also crazy is talking about that Shasta video. I think that was the first giant moment because I was talking about how like doing those videos, I got to see like the reaction on socials, and I
Oh,
think that video is the first video that I was like, oh shit, like people can see your work. Like if you put stuff out into whatever atmosphere.
How
the
did you
internet
how did
is-
you originally get that? You put it on YouTube and then Twitter.
I put it
and-
on YouTube, and then what was that fucking party?
Yik Yak?
No,
No.
I'm thinking of all
I'm
the fucking names.
schmacked. Do you
I'm
remember those
schmacked.
fucking
Oh, is it the
Yes.
SCH
Yes.
Schmack?
Yes,
Yes.
Schmack.
I'm schmacked. Put it on their. They had like a
Wow.
blog, I think.
Yeah, they did.
They had
Yeah.
like some sort of fucking blog, or it wasn't like
Yeah.
a Twitter.
Was it like
or-
College Humor?
Yeah,
or
but
like
it was
men's
like
humor or
they
whatever.
did what I did at Shasta. They were already doing
It was kind of like Barstool before Barstool became what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
So-
what I'm what I'm talking
Interesting.
about?
Yeah, just like party
they
culture.
put my
Yeah,
shit
basically.
on their site, and then from there it went fucking crazy.
Interesting.
Damn. So that was your first taste of
That was
like.
my first taste of being
I
like,
realized you can kind of tool the internet,
in ways you wanted to,
and also
Especially-
like even ways you don't want it to. Shit just happens.
yeah,
Shit
for
just picks up
sure,
in
man.
weird ways that you didn't expect, and
Yep.
it goes viral or
Mm-hmm.
Still
you know,
to
it
this
goes
day,
to your-
there's no way, there's no formula for that shit
yeah.
Very true.
unless
So-
you're on TikTok. TikTok has a formula.
TikTok.
Have you made your first TikTok?
Fuck, I've broken TikTok.
You're a talker?
Bro, no, I'm not a talker. I posted.
Is that the proper
just
term?
I
use
have a video that has 1 million views on TikTok.
Oh, shit.
What the hell?
What?
My mom throwing a glass at me.
Subtle
It's your
flex.
mom throwing a glass.
Oh,
That's amazing.
I saw this
You've
on
seen
Twitter.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
like,
incredible.
I've
Shout out
TikTok's
your
the
mom.
first. If you're looking for like a platform and you think Instagram is too brutal right now, which it is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
TikTok is like Wild Wild West right now.
Yeah.
Like fucking just start putting.
It's like,
shit out
oh,
there.
Vine, but longer?
Before
Yeah.
we delve
Sweet.
down into other
Yeah,
social
no,
media,
that's a whole nother. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to know your opinion on the Instagram likes.
Mm.
And has it switched on your account? Because it hasn't on mine yet.
I don't think it has on mine.
But
either.
being someone in your profession where that does play a role in
Yeah, I
you know,
definitely want to hear your thoughts on this,
musicians
because-
reaching out to you potentially,
Yeah.
or brand deals, or at the
Yeah.
end of the day, do you believe like it's your craft, it's your art that should
Hmm.
that speaks? It's not like whether I got 20,000 likes or 10.
See, I think it plays. There's both sides of it, right? I think for me, I very, very much have wanted to build my brand on my art, like my photography and my video.
Right.
I've done maybe 2 brand deals
Mhm.
ever, and I've got approached for,
Countless, I'm
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've got approached for a lot of different brand deals, but at the end of the day, I've wanted to have like the art and the photography speak for itself
first, yeah.
before anything else. I can say that my account still shows likes,
Mhm.
but I can say even looking at someone's phone who has their likes disabled, like mentally, dude, it's so much easier to look at it. Like you can just
Yeah.
go through and you don't have to like beat yourself up over it,
Right.
especially in like this industry that we're in with social, where
Mhm.
you're constantly comparing, like 24/7 you're
Yeah.
comparing, even when you're not trying to, and
Yeah.
you
Right.
can be like, oh, I don't care. But in the back of your head, you kind of fucking do, and it sucks. You're like,
Yeah.
like I don't want to care,
Kids
but I do.
nowadays, I didn't mean to cut you off, but kids nowadays just really kind of look at the numbers instead of the art that they're putting out.
100%.
And that, for the people listening, that's not going to help you creatively at all if you're just looking at the numbers.
It doesn't translate, and it especially doesn't translate when you get popping just off numbers.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge.
That's not
fan-
sustainable
It's
too.
not
It's not.
sustainable.
At all.
No,
I'm a huge
it's
fan
not.
of the longer it takes to build something, the longer it's
It'll
gonna
stay.
stick around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just as long as it takes to build it, it's gonna stick around that much longer.
Right.
And I think that's a good point to like whether you're doing music or a radio show or something like that. Maybe people can see the listens, maybe people can. I know when we did radio, like no one can tell how many people are listening, but maybe if they could, we would have been a little self-conscious. Maybe if we could tell, we
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
self-conscious.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
in the back of our head, we knew
Yeah.
probably not that many people, but if there was
Mhm.
a big red ticker in front of our
Yeah.
face that said 2 people listening,
2
I'd be
people.
like,
Oh, it
bro.
would
This
ruin my life.
sucks. Yeah.
I'm in the industry now, and
Mhm.
I've learned to just kind of numb those numbers. Like
Tune
we
it
get
out.
those. Grant, you know, it's like you get those quarterly numbers that you get. Like, oh, here's your cum for the month.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, the cum is cool, and the cum is like basically how many people have listened, the demographics, like what
Yeah.
age group listen. That's fine.
You guys get like a report.
Yeah, we
that-
get a report.
okay,
like that's
okay.
what that's what a TV radio show
Ratings,
does. Yeah,
yeah.
you get ratings. But like
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like it doesn't really matter because if you're just like justifying how good your show is just because of the numbers,
Mhm.
Just 'cause
you're
of the
gonna
numbers,
hate
yeah.
yourself every morning. Like
For sure, man.
what I'm doing now is trash.
Yeah.
And that's just not how it doesn't correlate to like what makes you feel good. What makes you
Totally.
feel good is putting out the shit that you want to put
Totally,
out.
man.
So,
I think it's a positive thing. I know a lot of influencers and like people who are heavily dependent on the numbers.
Engagement, like counts,
Like
all
yeah,
that, all
I
that
think,
shit.
I
yeah.
think it's definitely gonna take a hit, and I think it'll hurt. But at the end of the day, dude, like people see real. It's so easy, especially
Yeah.
now. Like you can read what's authentic and what's not in 2
Mhm.
fucking seconds.
Absolutely.
So,
And I mean, also at the end of the day, it could end up benefiting some people too. Because I know
Yeah.
it could be in the back. You would never outwardly admit it, but if you're scrolling through Instagram and you see someone's post that's killing it with likes,
Yeah, man.
you could be a little self-conscious. I don't get those likes. They have enough. Or like,
Dude,
I'm not gonna.
I do the same thing
maybe
they're
like
doing.
they're
and I'm
already
not
at
getting-
500
yeah.
likes. I'm not gonna feed their ego and give them another one. But
Yeah.
if you can't see,
Yeah.
I genuinely like that picture.
Yeah.
I
Or you're
j-
going to post it. You're going to share more content. And you know what? Your shit could be the most fire stuff in the world, and you've been self-conscious about it
Like,
because you don't
this
want to.
is just, a silly fun photo with friends, but I
Now
don't
you
want
don't
to put
give
it
a
out because
fuck.
it won't
Right.
do well. But now it's like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
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 So I think there's definitely two
It's
sides.
an interesting world, man. It's like it can be the most toxic and the most amazing
Mm-hmm.
like line of work in the world.
Yeah.
For sure. So
Yeah. And I don't mean to get off too much of like, well, I still want to stick in photography because I know that's what you're passionate about. But like,
Yeah.
what were some of the early influences? And like, what really got
Mhm.
you into photography? What were some of like the main photographers that you were on your head at the time? Or like,
yeah.
this is really dope, and like maybe one day I could get into it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I think for me, I didn't even like know I was doing the thing. You
Yeah.
know, like I
Huh.
was
That's
taking
fascinating, actually.
I was taking my mom's camera
Yeah.
and I was filming over like her Christmases and like her stupid whatever videos with my 6 skateboarding videos that I thought were the
Yeah,
dopest thing in
yeah.
the world. And I just thought it was tight to be able to like rewind it, plug it to the TV, and then press play and see like us
Yep.
doing what we just did
Yep.
on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. I thought it was the coolest shit in the world. I was
Right.
like, this is so fucking awesome. And then it got me fascinated with like digital media and graphic design and digital manipulation and all that shit. And I would just sit there and watch YouTube tutorials and I would just make shit for me and like to send to my friend. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like we would burn discs and be like, yo, here's
Yo,
this.
check this
sick-
out real quick.
This is our skate video.
This is such like
You know?
2007
Yeah.
LA skate
100%,
culture. Oh
bro.
my god.
Like, I was like,
Twalton Skate Park.
Here's my sponsor me video, and it was like
Yeah.
I couldn't even fucking kickflip.
But did you
it
have
was
like? But did you have like
Etnies,
one
Element, get at us.
yeah, get at me still.
Yeah.
Vans, what the fuck's good?
Oh, we'll get to that. You can make your public
That's
PSA to
what's up.
fans at the end of the podcast.
All right,
I have
bet,
that
bet,
stashed.
bet,
But was there like one person or YouTuber or photographer that you were just like, I somewhat want to model myself by this individual,
I
or it's
think-
just like, you know what, I like doing what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, like I know Bam Margera was huge
Okay.
for me. Like I was doing it. I was filming shit before I ever saw like Jackass or like Bam. What was the show?
That, like,
was it
yeah,
Bam's?
Jackass.
Bams.
Or-
Bam's.
Viva la Bam.
Viva
Viva
la
la
Bam.
Bam.
That
There
shit.
we
So like
go.
before that ever happened, but like once I saw that type of document style,
That
like
style.
I was like, this is so fucking tight. These guys are literally just doing shit for fun. and,
Got
like,
you. So
and
that was kind of
filming
like
it.
the spark in your head, like, oh, I can do
It's
that.
the grittier
Yeah.
when you're not refusing to put someone else
Yeah.
something out because
It's-
it's not polished.
It's not like
Yeah.
high tech cameras. It's just them getting
Yeah.
a camcorder and just recording.
But no, it's crazy. Is like that was what I was into.
Yeah.
And then once I got into the world of Instagram, and especially in like the P&W type shit, when I was taking like landscape photos,
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
figure out my camera and do all that, and like network with all the P&W photographers, I was like learning the professionality of it and like dialing in like what I wanted my shit to look like
Mhm.
and figuring out like my art.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like now I want to pick up a fucking VHS camera like when I was
Old
like
school.
fucking
Yeah.
13 years old and just do that.
It's just
Because I'm like, this is so much more authentic, bro.
Yeah,
This shit's so much more authentic.
I feel you.
I was
on
going to
that.
say too, as a photographer, how do you feel about some of the trends now that photography is going with,
Yeah.
disposable cameras, cheap,
For
quick and easy
sure.
black and white, or even
Yeah.
like iPhone photography? Like,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
does it decrease the craft in your opinion, or is it one of those things where,
Mm.
it's accessible? Like if someone is enjoying what
If
they're
you
doing,
can do
like
it, then just go do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I feel like so many people want to hate on shit now and just be like, yo,
you took that with an iPhone.
you took that with an iPhone.
If it
or you
looks
took
dope,
that
it
with a
looks
film
dope.
camera. Or you're only buying film cameras because you think it looks dope. It's like, dude, if it looks dope, like just fucking do it. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if it looks tight, just do it. And if you're good at it, it's gonna stand out. Like if you're good at it and you can creatively make something your own, or you have a niche, or you are even just a good person, like if you're just a good person and you're able to photograph things because you're a good person, people like you around, like
Yeah.
then that's fucking awesome. At the end of the day, for me, just do it. Like if you love it and you're passionate about it, if it's music, if it's photography, if it's fucking rock climbing, like whatever your passion is and you love doing it and you genuinely love doing it, like and you can figure out a way to make it work, make it fucking work.
Yeah. So I don't mean to take it back to what we were already talking about.
No,
but
please
I
do.
did,
My brain is like, I'll fucking run.
Hey guys,
that's what we
we're
do.
on a roll right now.
That's what we do.
we're going down rows.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of just taking it back to kind of the craziness of
Yeah.
tour life and, you know, whatever, 15 flights in 12 days, whatever it is.
I can't even
That's
fathom
crazy.
that. I know
still
you're
can't
wincing
fathom
as,
it.
as
You
we
can't
say
even
that.
fathom
Like,
I think that we
I
kind of
want to bed.
you know, I kind of wanted to get back on kind of a more serious topic of just kind of the mental health of
Yeah.
all this because, you know, I'd assume that it takes a huge kind of toll on not only your physical health, but also kind of mentally
Yeah.
and
Both,
kind of how you
man.
deal with it all.
Yeah.
And kind of just any advice out there for people who are kind of in that same position as you.
I mean, if anyone has advice, hit me up.
Hey,
He's looking for advice.
Everyone
I'm
needs
looking-
it. Yeah.
I'm looking for advice. No, I think mental health is so prominent nowadays in everything. I think it's so fucking rad how open people have become with mental health because I think before, even like 3 years ago, people would like suppress whatever shit they had and didn't want
Not
to talk
talk
about
about
it because they felt like they were being a bitch or they felt like they were being a baby. And I think now just being able to get out and be like, yo, I need fucking help, or even just like I just need to talk to someone is so much easier than it used to be. Like you can get on Twitter. Twitter is a fucking therapy session. The
It
whole
is.
thing, you know.
Yeah.
In the darkest way possible, it's still a therapy session. Like people have crude ways of like dealing with shit, and I think I have an issue. I think where I go super fucking hard and then I check out even harder. You know, like I'll go just
Tune
as
out from the world.
fucking hard as I possibly can, and I put my head down and I push through whatever bullshit I have to do or whatever I'm doing at the time, and then once I'm done with it, I'm like done. Like I'm like, yo, I can't even.
Yeah.
And I know that's not the healthiest way of dealing with it.
But it's your way of dealing with
But
it.
it's my way of dealing with it. And I think in the music industry, there's definitely some things that need to be worked out with mental health and figuring out how to like, I don't know, man, like photographers don't feel important in the industry, you know, and they can work as hard as they fucking can, but they don't feel important. And I'll be the first one to say like a huge example of push in the right direction is this iHeartRadio has this award that they started last year, and it's like the Photographer of the Year award. And I think just them even having that award and
It means
kids,
something.
Yeah,
It's a
kids
step
being
in the
able
right
to
direction.
look and
Yep.
see like, holy shit, if I do this, maybe one day I'll be able to achieve this. There's like an end goal. There's like a goal, and I think that helps a lot of people. I also think just being vulnerable, like people are too afraid to be just like, yo, I'm fucked up, you know, like I need help. So,
and I mean, just you admitting that right now, like
Yeah.
on the podcast, I think would help a lot of people too, because as we were just talking about with Instagram and shit like that, it's very I mean, everyone's heard this, but it's the highlight reel. It's the best of the best. You're only going to show the glamorous unless you're, you know, really being real and out there. But like your life too, like a lot of people might just look at the beautiful photographs and the stories and be like, oh, you know, Jake's with, you know, Marshmello at this club and now he's on a private jet and stuff like that. But what they don't see is
he's so happy and
Exactly.
like, I just want to sleep for 2 hours.
what they don't see is that you haven't slept in 48 hours. You know, you're not eating. You're
I want to say, like, first off, I am so very grateful.
Oh, of
and, like,
course.
so lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know there are people.
Some people would kill for that.
That would in a fucking.
That's their end
heartbeat.
goal.
Yeah. So I know that, and I think about it all the time. But I mean, there are like, especially in this industry, you're missing New Year's, you're missing Thanksgiving, you're missing Christmas a lot of the times. You're missing like all these family gatherings. You don't get to see someone grow up. You don't get to go to that soccer game, your sister's soccer game, or your sister's basketball game. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely like a lot. You have to be willing to give up a lot to get to where you want to be, and that can go for any fucking industry for sure. Like, you have to be willing to give more than you get back, and you have to be able to love it that much in order to succeed in anything.
I think on another note too of what you just said is like that is true. Like 1 million people would kill to be in the position you're in, but at some point, and I think what is important with mental health and kind of that it's the block that some people don't get over is you owe it to yourself to be selfish too. Yeah, like just because other people aren't there yet and they're still working, you don't always have to tell yourself, I'm dying right now. I haven't slept, but other people would kill to be here. I can do it. You know, sometimes you got to be like, so what? I'm right now.
I'm here in this moment.
I'm in this moment, so I owe it to myself to still.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge issue I have, because I mean I see it night and day on how lucky I really am.
Because you weren't handed anything. So when you do get, that's the mindset of a lot of true creatives and true artists that weren't handed anything.
Like I feel like this can get taken away
like
just as fast as it was.
Course.
It was
exactly
like, you know what I mean? Like
you never know.
You never fucking know, and it scares me. And I think that's why people are so afraid to say no, because they're like,
say yes to every opportunity.
If I say no to anything, then that means like the opportunity down the road
goes to someone else.
Get fucking kicked out from under my feet.
Yeah,
ain't that true?
And I'll be the first to tell you, to get into the world of whatever you want to do, you're gonna fucking have to hustle, and you're gonna give up a lot of shit. And you're gonna
absolutely
you're gonna grind. But you're probably gonna love it. Like the come up is almost better.
You should love it.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not doing something right if you're not loving.
If you're not up
at
2 a.m, editing videos or editing photos or researching or doing whatever, that means you don't love it.
Totally.
You know, it's like, I can do this another day, or I can do this next week. It's like, no, man, if you actually like what you do and you say, I want to, like, if you're manifesting your destiny, then fucking do it.
And if you're not excited to put out the work that you're creating too, that's another testament to.
Yeah.
You owe it to yourself to, you know,
for sure,
switch it up and stuff like that. But what you just said, I think, is what a lot of, not even people that are at that position yet, but in college too.
Yeah.
And mental health spares no one. Like,
totally. I mean, take a second for yourself, dude.
It's important.
Fucking, you're more important than anything else in your life. I'll tell you that right now. Like, be humble, be grateful, but like, take a second for yourself, because shit can get overwhelming quick. No matter what you're doing, man. Like, no matter what, like, your 9 to 5 is just as stressful as anyone else's job, you know, like, or whatever you're fucking doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take time for yourself for sure.
And I think to take this now in like a direction of the positive ways to like deal with something like this is sort of your support system. Because I know a lot of the people out there watching are supporters of you, and you know we've gone like through your story and everything. But I think what's fascinating too is like the support system that you have, and that you've gained this following that loves it and supports everything you do. So I kind of want to talk on, how that grew.
Yeah, let's do it.
The origin story of when you first started to see it growing. Like, I know for everyone out there that doesn't know his like full photography background is your final week at Oregon State. You had been, shooting these shows in Portland, and you'd made some connections with some people behind the scenes. And you can take it from here, but you got sort of heads up that potentially Panic at the Disco was looking for.
My life's about to be changed.
To a photographer.
Yeah.
And did you love Panic before the call?
I love Panic in high school, but I didn't hear shit until like, you know what I mean?
Honest answer, I love it.
I mean, everyone knows. Everyone knows that famous
shit.
tune. I mean,
it's
of course,
amazing.
Panic.
And so like I got the call, and at that point, dude, if anyone fucking called me, I would have gone out.
Oh, of
Barney
course.
called me on tour.
Of course.
Down, Barney. Let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Clean up.
That would actually be iconic.
That'd be hard.
The Barney reunion tour.
No, but
Barney's backstage with a bottle of Jack Daniels. Get out of here, Jake.
Fuck. Yeah,
Jake, stop taking flicks of me.
Put the fucking camera down.
Right now.
Barney, I'm just trying to get the real you. No. That's not the real me.
Damn, that's too real, bro.
I mean,
that's too real.
I mean, that's the point that. But anyways, yeah.
Does
So
that thing still have batteries? That's the wow. That's amazing.
Hi, YouTube.
Jake's nerding out right now.
That's
like,
fucking,
still
I've been
going
thinking about
perfect.
that. You guys gotta get a chair.
The beauty
chair.
of interviewing a videographer is
you guys
like
are good.
You guys, yeah. If you guys want chairs,
we got
there's
beers,
plenty.
guys.
But sometimes I want to fucking
Everyone in
share.
here is of
Get the
age.
photographer and videographer a beer right now for sure.
I gave him a
Crack
drink.
it.
Have one of these Portland
it.
Budweiser.
Hold on, point to the camera.
Trailblazers.
There
Hey,
you go.
Portland Trailblazers.
Plug.
Always
Yeah, you can shotgun it on cam if you want.
Oh shit.
I mean, now that we're breaking the third wall, I got to film this now.
Might as well.
You
The
guys
third
aren't
wall,
supposed to
the
be
fourth wall.
drinking,
This is
dude.
third wall.
Cheers.
We're all
fuckers.
above age, all right? I can pour another shot if that's what everybody wants.
14.
Is that deadly? You're a narc.
Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd.
Oh, but anyways, yeah. So where were we?
Just talking about Barney.
We're about to.
In that-
Yeah,
in
no,
that
it was a
dark
good
tale that
question.
we're
That
talking
was a
about.
good
So
question.
Panic, you got
Yes, Panic.
Yeah.
You're a week away from graduating.
Week away from walking at my college graduation,
Which is one of the scariest times in your life if you don't know what's next on the horizon. You don't have something lined up.
Bro, I got.
So you were probably.
So I had met a friend. His name's Spud. Spud, I hate you.
Spud, if you're watching.
Spud, I hate you.
Absolutely incredible name.
Yo,
Spud, I
Spud
also
the
hate
sound
you.
guy. Go follow him on Instagram
plug.
and Twitter. He's the fucking. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He we met he lived in Portland, and he was like an Instagram photographer type. We did like the nature shit together. And we fucking. He hit me up. I hit him up, and I was like, "Yo, if you guys ever need to talk," because he was the sound guy. He did like the in-ear monitors for Panic, and he toured with a bunch of bands. But he was doing Panic specifically at the time. And I was like, "Yo, if you ever need a photographer for any reason, hit me up. Like, please hit me up." So he hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, the guy they had that was gonna come out on tour bailed. They're gonna give you a call tomorrow." And he had hit me up a couple times about this, but like nothing ever happened. And then the next morning I woke up at like 7 a.m. and I had a call literally from management. I was on the road manager, Zach called, and then the actual manager was on the phone. And I'll fucking never forget it, bro. I walked across the street. I walked across the street from my house on Van Buren, sat on a fucking bench in a park, and I was literally on the phone with like Panic at the Disco's manager. And we're like, "Hey, we need you to fly out tomorrow."
And you're like,
"Oh,
I guess so. I'm supposed to walk soon, but."
Bet.
Yeah,
I'm fucking out.
I'm out. I gotta go.
I'm fucking out. Wasn't a second. I mean, I had been working forever for that, man. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I was shooting.
Where did they ask you to fly to?
What town is that in Texas? It's it was in Texas. I can't remember the fucking name of the town. It's something random. It's not like a main city at all.
You're right.
I flew out there. They asked me. They're like, "Have you ever toured before?" And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." Like, I work for all the artists that come to Portland. Like, stretch the truth just a little bit.
Of course.
And when I got there, the road manager was like, "I fucking hate this kid." Like, he never told me this when I was there. He was mad cool to me when I was there, but he was like, Zach will tell you right now. He was like, the first week I was there, I was like, "How do I where do I put my luggage? Like, how do I brush my teeth? Like,
how do I brush my?
And when you
what
think
do I
about
do?
this shit, like on tour, like you're living on a tour bus, like your shit goes in a certain place.
Yep.
You brush your teeth with a water bottle, not the water on the bus, because that shit is nasty.
Disgusting.
And I had to learn that the hard way.
So he's like, this fucking noob.
He's like, this guy's a fucking
This guy's
idiot.
no idea
Like,
what the
he
fuck
has
he's doing.
no idea what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to like sleep on a bus. I had no idea where I was supposed to go in the morning. I would walk in with all my shit.
How soon were you thrust into this? Was it?
Bro, instantly. I got
they're
there.
like,
The
you're on
next
tour-
day was
you're
the
on
first
tour
show.
with us.
I was on tour. It was Weezer and Panic at the Disco.
What did you even
co-headliner.
pack? How much did you? You're like, I'm gonna
Bro,
take
my
like
suitcase
5
was
shirts.
like a fucking duffel bag. I looked like a
Okay, so
dude.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like,
Insane.
was it just like an instinct of like, okay, we want you to go on tour, and you're like, yes, okay, I'm like you.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
it wasn't
like,
even thinking about it.
No,
Like,
can't
yes.
say
I
no,
literally,
yeah.
everyone knew too. Like, as soon as if anyone asked me to go on tour, I was down. I
Got
was
you.
like- and I've always been that type of person. I will give anything an opportunity, and I will try anything before I.
Absolutely.
mix it,
Of course.
You know? Like,
Of
I'm
course.
like, whatever it is, I'll try it before I say no.
Yeah, why not?
Because at this point, was concert and music photography your realized passion? Because I know
was like,
your first concert was Mac Miller, rest in peace.
yeah.
R.I.P. to the goat.
I mean,
But-
there was something about live music photography that I was like.
Was it from the jump?
You
You're
were
like,
capturing
yeah.
the moment of
I think
like what they were feeling.
You're so like, for me being like so ADD and just like all over the place all the
Mhm.
time. When I was at a concert or a show, like I was fucking there.
Yep.
Like what I was watching was real.
So
It
much
was
energy.
authentic, and it was like lively, and everything was fucking
Pouring
it
out
was
all their
just tight.
emotions.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is so sick. And so to be able to document that kind of energy had always been dope to me. But I was getting into a weird world. Like I took an independent study course in college where they sent me to the fucking Amazon River. I was living on the Amazon
What?
for fucking 2 weeks. Like documenting.
Okay, Oregon State. Where was this
Open-
class?
Yeah, bro. No, it was nuts. My NMC doctor my NMC professor met a doctor at Fred Meyer's in Corvallis. And the doctor ran a nonprofit called Cardio Start International and
That's awesome.
performed open heart surgery.
Oh
on
my
people
God,
who
that's
needed it.
amazing.
That's awesome.
So the first place they sent us was Punta Cana. And then we came back and we were filming like a documentary on him. And then they sent us to the fucking Amazon, dude. And we literally went and lived on the Amazon rainforest.
What?
We got there by fucking boat. We flew into
Holy
some
shit.
random town.
In college.
For credits.
I'm pretty
Literally
sure.
took 4 weeks off of school, flew to the fucking Brazil.
Okay, you caught me at that. Sign me up. 4 weeks off of school?
4
All
weeks
right.
off of school, flew to Brazil, and lived on the Amazon. And I literally have footage of open heart surgery on my fucking camera. Like, that was the shit I was doing before.
That's dope.
It was like,
Yeah.
I know it. I was filming whatever, any opportunity that opened up, I was like, if I can travel and film, I'm fucking down.
That is wild.
That is incredible,
That's
but
wild.
not gonna lie, if that footage leaked, you might need to give some content.
Bro,
I'm glad
I
you're
don't
on
think I talked
evidence
about
of it.
how
That.
that started off. Like, that was the first taste of like travel and like
Yeah,
like
I'm sure. No one knows that probably.
Shit was fucking nuts, dude.
I think the farthest that I got to travel for a college class was to a farm to test cow shit for
Bro,
soil
I'll show
science.
you.
So
I'll pull up a photo real
I think you're
quick,
winning. Yeah.
just so I can show you the house we lived at. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I was saying we're living on the river. Like, the
You
front
were in
door.
the Amazon River.
That is
The
so
front
cool.
door is the fucking river.
God. So that was your first taste of travel, you know.
Mhm.
That was my first taste of travel, and then and I was still shooting concerts. I knew I wanted to do concerts, but I definitely was getting into like the travel
Mhm.
the travel photography type shit. Like, that was the front deck.
Oh, wow. For everyone out there, yeah, he was living on the river.
Oh, that's nuts.
Like, yeah, we were like,
Whoa.
Y'all are out there.
That's cool.
that was the house. Fucking no windows.
That's
in the middle of
dope.
Wow.
nowhere.
That's dope.
That's amazing.
That's
It's
amazing.
so photogenic.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
But I mean, that was what I was doing. I was getting into like the travel shit before
yeah. Before
I
you
got,
go into panic.
before I got into like the music stuff at all.
Yeah.
And once I got into the music world, I was like, this is it. And to be fair, like, Panic, like, held me down and treated me like family so hardcore from the jump that I was like, these are my fucking people. And like, to this day, like, I will tell you, they put me on 100%.
Yeah.
Spud getting me on the gig, and then Panic just being like the most generous, like, taking a little kid who like barely knew what he was doing and then pushing him, especially Zach.
Everyone
Zach,
needs the push too. You were probably scared out of your goddamn mind.
dude,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Zach Hall, if you're listening to this, man, he fucking pushed my ass. And to this day, Zach is like a father figure. Like, definitely, like,
Yeah.
I had dinner with Zach like 3 days ago.
How
you know
many,
what I mean? Like, fucking nuts.
Right. How many like concerts before you kind of realized like this is what I wanted to? Because I assume the first couple times you were like,
You felt
okay,
shaky, I'm sure.
This was probably a
Bro,
little
I gotta
too
be
much.
honest.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Was it instant?
I think I can't remember the first concert before Mac Miller. And I think that says something for like my like photography. Like, I think photography for me is a huge way of remembering moments. And like, one of my biggest fears in life, biggest fucking fears, is forgetting. I watched my great grandpa had Alzheimer's, forgot everything.
Yeah.
So my whole life I've been terrified of forgetting. So I'm like, yo, any way I cannot forget something, I'm fucking doing it. So I'll journal or write or I'll fucking take photos. And I think the first concert I think for me was Mac Miller, and there's something about the fucking energy, man. I was like,
But I'm talking about like, I guess I'm more talking about Panic at the Disco, like because you were touring with them. And
Yeah.
you were just like, okay, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like they obviously like
you must
they,
have had that moment where you caught yourself in the moment. You're like, I'm really doing
this right
I'm
now.
in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm doing what I love.
I still, to this day, man, I think something that drives me so hard is I'm never satisfied. And I think it's like my greatest and my worst quality to have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never satisfied with my own work, but then at the same time, I'm never satisfied with what's in front of me.
Oh, brother, we're
Yeah.
one of the same, brother.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think I need to like, I'm always wanting to push myself, but I've definitely had those moments, especially like, I mean, watching Panic play fucking Madison Square Garden sold out. You know what I mean? Sitting there on stage, like, I get chills thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's nuts.
being a part of something like that, like, that's fucking special, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking special.
Man. What
For
was
sure.
that? What was it like to give the call back to your parents to let them know that you're a week away from graduation? You got this call, and
Bro, I don't even
let's
know
be
if I
honest.
told them.
Did they know who? What?
I don't even know if
Bro.
I said anything.
So you flew to Texas without telling them?
I think I told
Maybe a
them
little nervous.
like the day before I was supposed to fly. I think my mom took me to the airport, but I was like, I didn't hit him up and like all like, guess what I'm doing? I
And
think it was like super casual.
Be honest. I know your parents. One of them was Panic at who?
Yeah, my dad was like, who the fuck are you talking about? My
That's
Lebanese
amazing.
dad was
Panic
like,
at the what?
Who the hell is
what-
Panic at the what?
Yeah.
Why are you panicking? Are
Is
you
this a
okay?
Is this a new video game?
Totally.
Is this a new Nintendo?
I
Oh,
remember
yeah,
the
it's
disco
Nintendo.
back in my day.
My mom knew the song. My mom
Of
knew
course.
the song.
Yeah.
And then my dad became the biggest fucking fan in the world.
That's-
Yeah,
that's-
my mom.
that's
the
my
best
whole
part, of
family,
course.
you know, they're just like, and like honestly, Panic, they're fucking amazing, dude. They put me on so hard, man. To this day, Brendon's one of
Yeah.
my best friends. I fucking love that
Absolutely.
dude. He's
Whoa,
like,
man.
he's
What was your first time meeting him? What was the experience? Did he? I'm sure they obviously played the role in saying we want this kid to follow us to every fucking city
yeah. I mean,
and document our lives.
I feel like a huge role in that was Zach. Just seeing the connection that like you just feel so, you know what I mean? Like when you're living with people, like when you're touring, you're living with people. So like if there's a weird vibe, like you feel it instantly.
Yeah.
And I think it was just supernatural. We all like everyone was like super into the same stuff, like same vibe. No one ever was negative. Everyone was super positive. I think it just naturally worked out super well. Like
that's amazing.
I'm a huge fan of everything being organic as possible. Like if you have to force something, there's
like you said, when it's organic, it tends to last, and it tends to be real.
Yeah, for sure.
So you get this call, you start touring with Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
How far into that did you start to see, or how far into your journey was it that the support and the following started to come in for yourself? Because I know every photographer's goal is to build their own portfolio and, to put their work out there. But I mean, humble brag for yourself for a second here. I'll do it for you. Like, I mean, not every photographer becomes their own personality and larger than life and is able to turn themselves into their own personal brand. And the photography is also almost just a side thing they do when it's just like, Jake Chams is like genuinely a person that people
part of the band.
Yeah, well, we can get into that
part
too,
of the band. But no,
But when did that support, and how shocked were you?
I don't know. I mean, still to this day, I can't wrap my head around it at all. I mean, like 90%.
You have fan art.
I'm very thankful, super thankful. It wouldn't have happened without Brendon and Panic and Lorde and Marshmello and being able to fucking have the opportunities to document these people and for them to be able to trust me with a camera in their face all the time and know I'm not going to make them look like an idiot or ever do anything that would harm the brand or anything like that. I'm very, very lucky, and it's weird to talk about. And I think all that stuff, I've never even thought about that other shit, like my first and foremost thing is like photography and video and documenting whoever I'm working for and making sure that I can make the coolest shit for them. And honestly for myself, like it's a battle internally too. Like if I'm not happy with it, they're not gonna, maybe they'll be happy with it, but I'm not gonna be happy with it. And if I'm not happy with it, what's the point?
You're perfectionist at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
you want to like your own shit before sending it out to anybody else, because like, hey, do you like it? And they're like, yeah, I like it. But then like deep down in your heart, it's like, I don't really like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I am very, very grateful, and everyone that supports me from everything. It's weird to talk about, man. I get very weirded out.
No, I get it.
Understandable. Yeah, no,
like,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
but like at the end of the day, like the product you put out and the work you put out, it makes people happy. It lets people look up to you, and I mean that's kind of the goal here. Like I think we've done a great job too. Is like the people that are watching this look up to you, or they want to be inspired to chase their own passions or photography and whatnot. And it's like it's a community.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like some people may not understand it. I mean, let's talk on that, because I know it's just such an amazing thing. It's like
it is a very, very
honestly, it's
fucking
like
amazing thing, and it deserves to be.
It deserves to be recognized, and they deserve to be thanked for
sure, hands down, 100%.
Amazing group.
Those motherfuckers are the most loyal, craziest maniacs I've ever met in my life. I fucking love them, each and every. They're all weird, and they're all like me, and they're all fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Did you know there's an Instagram account that's like Jake Chamsedine's camera?
My camera?
There's an @ I was doing my I was doing my Naruto research.
What is it?
Let me look it up. I
think you sent it earlier. I don't know.
Kids love you, dude.
Yep. It is @ Jake Cham's camera.
Jake Cham's camera.
It has 93 followers.
Wait, can I see it?
And the bio is property of @ Jake Chams, and their website is your website.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And there's another one @ Jake Chams is my bro, 532 followers. If you guys are listening, shout out to you guys.
Jake Chams is my bro.
But
Bro Crew.
Explain that, because
let's talk about
it, because I know as you keep growing and getting bigger and touring with different artists, your community keeps growing.
I hope Bro Crew just blows the fuck up and becomes
There's people that probably have just started following you from the Marshmello tour, and they're like, what is this goddamn Bro Crew?
I hope
What is this kid's merch?
Just fucking pops off. I hope Bro Crew takes over the world.
I mean, it is.
So, Bro Crew okay. I play a lot of Fortnite. I game a lot. I'm a fucking huge nerd.
Yeah,
me and Brendon got really into Fortnite and gaming.
Ninja or Tfue?
I love both of them.
Okay.
Both the homies.
Political answer. I like it. Nice
Like,
guy.
I didn't know we were getting there now, but okay.
We'll jump there.
It's like, I can put courage in there as well, but I'm not gonna get
No,
there.
Jackson. I love Jack. Jack wins. Jackson.
There you go.
Okay,
He's
there you
Homies
go.
first.
But it's so weird to think about. I made a tweet one time and I said, and it was like a fucking, like a mosh pit at a concert, and I was like, this is what the Fortnite lobby is like before I drop in with my bros, and I meant to say bros,
Yes.
so I typed like bros, and all these kids were like, what the fuck's a bro? Blah, blah, blah. What, like you typo, ha ha ha.
You need to
typo.
Print that tweet. You need to frame that
I need to
tweet.
put it
You
on
do-
a
you do
fucking
need to frame it.
t-shirt
You
or
do
some
need to
You
shit.
frame
also might owe Apple an autocorrect a cut. I'm just
Yeah, for sure.
Straight up.
So then somebody responded. They're
ducking.
Like,
It's
what's
ducking
a bro?
sick.
Ducking sick, bro.
They were like, "What's a bro?" And I think I responded with like, "It's 2018. Like, bro is too gender specific. We've leveled up." Or some shit like that.
I love you.
Little did you know that
Like-
half thought out response
Like
would-
it was just like sitting
would
there,
turn
like,
into, like,
what it
totally,
is
like,
today.
Like, this is too gender specific. We leveled up.
Ah,
Like it's
man.
2018.
Now we're putting all of us together. We're
yeah,
bros
it was like
now.
fuck you. Like we're all bros. So I said that, and then Brendon saw it, and then Brendon really liked the idea of it, and Brendon fucking blew it up. Like it was the shit we would say backstage all the time. We'd be like, "What's up, my bro?" and like
Yep.
dumb shit like that. But we all got a kick of that it was a typo, and that like it was like all it really meant at the end of the day. Like it's like a universal thing for like. Let me get the exact definition because I think this pretty much sums it up.
I think what's beautiful too about the organicness of the story is everyone has the cliche fan based bullshit names for the people that support them. Like
Yeah.
you could have been the Chammies.
Yeah,
Or some shit like that, or
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Not
So,
to hate on
okay.
anyone, but
So a typo turned lifestyle. Term bro has a simple meaning on the surface, a non-gender specific word of the word bro. But with the birth of the term bro, a family was born. A family full of individuals who stand for self-expression, equality, kindness, and the idea that everyone has a right to be unapologetically themselves at all times. So
where
I think
where
all
is
of
that
that.
definition?
Yeah, where
by the
is
way?
that? That's what I was
that's on therocrew.com.
Did you make that?
I mean, yeah, we made a website
Oh,
for
hell
it.
yeah.
We had to. Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah.
So that was just like it all started. What year? That was 2018. You said.
2018. Yeah.
And look at now. I mean,
Bro Crew is fucking rad, bro. It's become like its whole
Seriously.
thing. I have no idea what it's become. It's insane.
and I
It's
just want to say too.
legendary.
I know a lot of you guys out there that don't know this podcast are watching, but just off of Jake retweeting when we put out we were gonna have him. You guys, we'll get to you. Trust me, we're gonna get to your questions because they're incredible.
Yeah.
The feedback that you guys gave and just instantly like gave like the most insightful, beautiful, like
love
actual
that.
questions.
That's fucking. Bros,
Sometimes we
bro.
get
the
the,
bros,
most
bro. It's
the
troll
bros.
responses when we ask for questions for the podcast.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
the Vros, they're
Yeah.
incredible.
They
I mean,
genuinely, want to.
they support
about
you.
and-
They're fucking
I
incredible.
fucking love that.
So
They
that is
support everyone, man. They fucking support. If they find something tight,
anyone
they
that
latch
you
onto,
co-sign and fuck with. They
I mean, yeah,
respect you so much.
As soon
that-
as they see back, they can see real quick too. Like they can call bullshit real fast too.
Mhm.
So they're
That's
good at
amazing.
it. But yeah,
That's
they're
fucking
fucking
amazing.
awesome. They're smart.
What has been the coolest moment of this whole community growing? I know you've had the Vro Crew merch. We can talk about that. The handshake, the symbol.
I mean,
mean,
the symbol, yeah. So this shit was born in a Buffalo Wild Wings. This was
Wow.
we were sitting there, and Zach Hall, wrote
Sure,
Venture for
was
Panic.
some drinks involved?
I think me and Brendon had like a beer, but we were just sitting there,
Oh.
and Zach was sitting there like doing weird shit
Beautiful.
with his hands. We're like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he was like, VC," and we are like, "What?" Like Bro Crew. And we're like, "Oh my god, that's fucking amazing."
The way you just described him made him sound hammered as hell.
Yeah.
No, dude, literally though, we were just sitting there. and
Bro,
he was like,
what are you doing?
It was
VC,
no,
bro.
he was like
Shit.
literally. We looked over and he was like doing weird shit with his
Yeah.
hands, and we were like, "What are you doing?" And literally from there, in a Buffalo Wild Wings, fucking Bro Crew was born.
That's hilarious.
I feel like and this kind of coming back to it. Like all this stuff has just happened organically. Like it
All
wasn't forced.
organically,
Like,
man. I'm
that's
such
the
a big
thing,
fan
it's
of it
cool.
because the cool shit, if it's organic, it'll last for sure, man.
Like the name came organically. The
The
hand
logo.
sign came organically.
Yeah. So if
That's
it's
funny.
a V and then a C, Bro Crew.
I like it.
It's
I
so
mean,
simple.
what you just said too, like some of the Instagram accounts you didn't even know existed, and we were talking earlier that like just at the Panic
Bro,
at the Disco
I'm gonna say
subreddit,
this
like
right now. Oh wait, yo.
I was just gonna say, some of you guys will love this. So I was doing my digging The Panic at the Disco subreddit. And there was a post from 9 months ago that I'm not looking at the post now. Actually, I do have it up. It has 216 upvotes, and it's just titled "Jake Chams is a fucking god." That's pretty much it. The boy is fucking talented and adorable. I'm extremely glad he's a part of Panic.
This is the deepest interview I've ever had.
Don't you love it?
Weird,
don't you love
it?
we got Jake Nardwar over here like digging up stuff.
Shit.
And some of the responses to it were, honestly, I'd love for him to be considered a member of the band. And there was another comment that said, honestly, I didn't know he was the photographer. I thought he was a member of the band. So it's this stuff that so much stuff comes at you. I'm sure you can't possibly even see everything out there, but I know you interact with people. I see you do it every day.
Yeah, I try to interact with as many people as I can.
You do it more than a lot of people that have like smaller followings and they could do the interaction, but you make it a point to do it.
I mean, dude,
it's important.
I wouldn't be here if the Row Crew has changed more people's lives than I think they fucking imagine. And this goes deeper than just like the music stuff. The Twitch world is where they really fucking dove in to like really change people's fucking lives. And they've started donations, they've started communities, and they've legitimately, I can tell you, they've changed multiple more than a handful of people's lives. Like easily, hands down. Just being a part of their lives and giving people a little like pep in the right direction and a little step. And it's gone further than just like them supporting like our homies and growing our homies. Like they've started to support each other, and they've started to like do art and create things and interact with each other that are like, it's prospering.
That's what I was gonna
their
say.
Own creativity and their own artwork and their own like thoughtfulness and like engagement. It's fucking
at
rad.
some point it goes past you, and because this community
so much further
has
past
so much in common.
Bro, it's fucking
it has so much in
light years
common,
past me,
and
bro.
I hate to like liken it to like other things, but like we're here in Portland, we might as well say it. Like Rip City, it's not even just about the basketball team. It's just like people find it. If you're at a bar, and you find someone that's wearing a Blazer hat or something like that, you're gonna talk basketball.
Connection, man.
And the Row Crew, whether it's photography or they're diehard Panic fans, or they look up to
whatever it
something,
is, dude.
you're gonna relate to someone.
I think they find like a common ground in knowing that they can be whoever the fuck they want to be, and no one's gonna judge them. Like individuality is so important, dude. I think people get so scared to be themselves and fuck off. Like be yourself. Like
100%.
it's so much. People are so much more drawn to
it's
people.
a lot harder, to say that and just do it.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's true. Especially
like saying like, "Oh, fuck it, you be yourself." It's like, well, how people are gonna think? It's like, it's hard.
Totally,
Yeah.
I agree. I
don't mean to like
agree.
debunk you, but it's
no,
like
I thoroughly
to the
agree.
kids out there, it's like, you know what I mean?
It
Like,
definitely is. I think it is hard, but like
it's hard being a creative, is what we're trying to say.
being a creative sucks.
It's
toxic
hard.
as fuck.
It's hard.
It's super toxic.
Because like trying to get out the thing that you want to get out, but also not being judged, and also having that insecurity of like, is this gonna be okay for you guys to look at, and like, are you guys gonna be nice to me when I put it out? It's like, but at the end of the day, just be authentic and be yourself.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I think authenticity is like almost greater than
And I think that's a big testament to when you're authentic at doing something, it leads to other avenues. And I know we have a lot of stuff to still like,
of course,
go over. But when you started with Panic, that then led to your tour with Lorde. Did you complete your first tour with Panic, and then there was downtime, and you were wondering what was next? Or?
Yes, so I did. So this is my schedule as far as tours went. I did Panic Weezer co-headliner tour.
Mm-hmm.
Then
was that U.S. or international?
It was U.S. only.
U.S. Okay.
Then we did a Death of a Bachelor tour, which was Brendon's next album, and that was a full Europe, Europe, U.S.
So that was your first taste.
That was my first
international life
tour. Like that was nuts.
Whew.
Then came off of that, and there's a break from Panic for a while. I think I did a couple random gigs here and there.
How long was that break from Panic?
I can't remember. I think it was probably like 3 months,
okay.
3-4 months. But then I did Super Duper Kyle for a second. I think I did like 2 weeks with him, and then realized that like I needed to like figure out another gig, because like touring's great when you start touring a lot, but when you're touring like every
infrequently,
it's way hard. I mean, like any job. So I took up a part-time gig, and then I got offered Lorde through the same management. There's a bunch of artists, Crush Management. They're amazing.
How did that offer come? Was it similar where you got like someone gave you a tip and you got the email out of nowhere, or was it?
I literally got an email one day, and I think they were like, Jake, we're curious if you wanted to tour with Ella. And I responded to the email, who's Ella? Like, I had fucking no idea.
Who didn't exist back then.
And then they responded with Lorde, and I was like, fuck yeah, sign me up. So
wow.
She saw my work through Panic, I think. I think they showed her like a couple people.
So they were close before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know, not necessarily Panic directly, but they're under the
word
same
of mouth, like,
label.
this is our photographer,
like,
we love his work, that type of thing.
So then went out with her. I did a full, like, fucking full world tour.
So that was your longest stretch then?
That was the first time going, like, all over, man. We did, like, Russia.
Wow.
We did
Goddamn.
Asia. We did all of Europe.
Wow.
So that's when you really started to see the world then?
Yeah.
South America. Yeah, man. That was fucking crazy. That was, like, mind-blowing. And then...
Because Lorde is Lorde. Like, she's, like...
Icon.
She's huge.
Fucking icon.
People
she is amazing.
Love her. Oh,
dude.
no.
Her
music is fantastic.
Angel, she's awesome. I love her.
Okay.
What was that first meeting like with Lorde?
It's very interesting. Yeah, for sure intimidating. I mean, whenever you start work with any artist, there's definitely like everything's so different. The vibe's so different. Figuring out the common ground is so different. Getting anyone comfortable in front of the camera, trusting, like making sure like if that photo looks bad, is that going to get out? Like you know what I mean? And some of the best advice I ever got, I think, was from Zach Hall, and he was like, he showed me a photo one time that I sent him of like Panic, and he was like, would you want this photo of you posted?
Facts.
And like that's the type of thing where I would look at him and be like, I fucking hate you.
It's like I hate you,
but like
so much.
You're so fucking right.
Yeah.
Like,
it's what you need.
It's like now I'm just gonna nitpick everything that I do.
Exactly.
You piece of shit.
I mean, it works though. So I think transferring to any artist, like you start to realize, like there's a trust system, and like that's huge.
Yeah.
Like that's huge.
And there's also got to be something weird too about meeting someone where you already go into that meeting knowing they like your work. So it's like. Yeah. What is like? I have to live up to this, like,
dude. I am.
You get into your own head with those type of things.
I'm the first person to be like, I hate my work.
You're your biggest critic.
Yeah,
every creative is. Like, every creative is.
I hate my work that I do. Yeah, every creative's the same way.
so, I've never gone into anything like that confident. I'm always like, I'll work hard. Like I'm like, I'll do my best.
Please like my work. I'm gonna try harder than before.
Yeah, exactly.
And at this point, when you joined Lorde's tour, did the Vro crew then transfer over?
That wasn't even a thing.
Oh, wasn't?
No.
This was before 2018.
Yeah. This was like 2017.
Gotcha.
So the Vro crew started on the last Panic tour.
Okay, so the Lorde tour ended, and that's when Panic brought you on for the international tour, right?
Yeah. So they did Pray for the Wicked, which is fucking crushed it. High Hopes, Hey Look Ma, all those amazing fucking crushed it.
Yeah.
And then Vro crew started there. Shit's fucking nuts
and
to talk about. I've never talked about this shit this in depth. Like, how long have I feel like a fucking crackhead? Like, I'm just jabbering.
That might be the tequila, Jake.
Is this good?
This is great content.
Is this good?
Yeah,
this is better than good. Trust me, people.
This is awesome.
This will mean a lot to people. I think.
Okay.
So.
I'm just fucking feeling
I'm trying to make this your like resume, like hit on all points for anyone that's ever asked you questions about this stuff. So you explain the impact of the Vro crew, and I know another big, side of you and impact of you is the band wants popcorn.
Bro,
so I know
funny.
I'm not gonna lie, I have seen you post about this. I've seen the merch, fire by the way.
Yeah,
I've seen the collab with Hannah's Popcorn. Shout out Hannah, Twalton, Oregon, stand up.
Another Twalton, Portland in the house.
What is that, Twalton? Baby,
let's fucking go, dude.
We're just
you
going
gotta
are so cute.
There's like 3 people out there that's like watching this, like, Walter.
Yeah, for sure.
And someone out there,
I don't know what's going on.
Someone out there in like Idaho's like,
fuck.
What the fuck is Tualatin?
Yeah,
it's a weird name.
What the hell is a Tualatin? What is that?
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But anyways, so band wants popcorn. I was looking that up because I've seen this forever, but I have wondered the origin of it. Is this like Vro crew and band wants popcorn? I mean, it's on your merch.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
So Vro crew, band wants popcorn, very separate.
Yes, exactly.
Band wants popcorn started. Band wants popcorn started because I fucking wanted popcorn really bad, and I was at a venue and I didn't have my fucking wallet.
What tour was this, by the way?
I think it was the Lorde tour that I started it on.
Oh damn!
But it didn't pop off till the
next Panic tour.
The next Panic tour.
Okay.
But I went up to the venue and I was like, "Hey guys, my name's Jake," and I would show them my credential, like my touring credential, And I was like, I'm with the band downstairs. They really want a box of popcorn. And
Finesse.
The lady was like, 1 second, I'll get my manager. So she went and grabbed her manager, and I told the manager the same shit. She gave me a fucking box of popcorn.
Fuck
And
yeah.
I was like, tight. This shit fucking works.
Is it that easy?
This is fucking tight. So then I from there on out, I literally every venue I'd go, and I got so fucking good at it, bro. I'd go up and like, hey, can I speak to your manager? Is your manager around? They'd be like, all weirded out.
The game.
They'd be all weirded out. They'd be like, yeah, 1 second. And I'd be like, can I talk to you for a second? Make it like super private, like it was like mad important. And they'd be like, yo, the band
Give us your
every
spiel.
night.
I'd
be like, hey,
I'm
my name's
Karen.
Jake's the manager right
I'm
now.
Karen.
All right, Jake, you're the manager.
I'd be
We're
like,
in Sacramento,
Yeah,
California.
Sacramento, California.
Jake,
I'm
you're the
Karen.
manager.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm
Hey,
a
Karen.
46-year-old. I'm a 46-year-old
Karen
divorce.
is for sure a manager in a fucking concession stand. Hands down.
Karen doesn't want to be
Bet.
there at all. You don't want to be here at this job at all.
I'm Karen. I'm a 46-year-old divorcee. Still living my life.
Divorcee.
I'm out on the scene. I have a townhouse.
Okay.
Not a house yet, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
living my life. It's
Yeah.
enough
You've
space.
been doing
You're
this for
doing
10
good.
years.
You're comfortable.
You're
This is
over
vivid.
it.
You're
Thank you.
comfortable.
No kids.
No kids.
No
So
kids.
I'm single.
You're
I'm
chilling.
ready to mingle.
You're making good money.
I eat at Applebee's once a week,
Once a week.
That's a lot.
but for the happy hour deals. Great
Bet.
food, great drinks,
fair enough.
economical pricing.
All right,
yeah.
Karen.
So
what
I'm
the
Karen.
Fuck's good?
I'm behind.
What's up, Karen?
I'm single, so
You're trying to go to Applebee's?
so
Karen's
I'm behind the
single?
counter.
All
I
right.
see,
Are you manager?
I'm a manager.
All
I've
right.
Karen's the manager.
put some fucking respect on my name, okay?
All right.
46-year-old
So
divorcee. How dare you?
I walk up to Margaret, who is at the concession stand.
My
and I
newest
go,
employee that I just
hey,
hired.
you just hired. And
Not
I
a very
go,
good employee, by the
Hey,
way.
Margaret's been there for a week.
Hey,
She's kind of a pain in the
Margaret.
ass.
Margaret,
She texts a lot.
can I speak to
it's
your
annoying.
manager? And she goes, 1 second, please. And she turns and she looks to Karen. And Karen looks at me like, what the fuck is this asshole about to talk to me about? So I go, Karen, can I speak to you for a second, like around the corner?
Sure.
And she goes, yeah, sure. So we walk out. I go, Karen, hi, my name's Jake. I'm the photographer for the tour.
Okay.
I'm with the band downstairs, and every night they ask me
band?
to come up here with Panic. Or no, I wouldn't even say that. I would just be like the band. The
Never
band,
heard of them.
'cause-
Okay.
yeah.
You're
And they-
46-year-old, of
and-
course.
And I'd just be like, I'm with the band downstairs. Every night they ask for like a bag or box of popcorn. Is there any way you could help me out? Like do that. She'd look
how
at me
big
like
of
we
a
just
bag?
made like she would look at me like we just made this deal that nobody else would know about. You know what I mean? Like this little thing. She'd be like,
just you me.
1 second. She'd go in. She'd grab the bag of popcorn, hand it to me. I'd fucking walk away like I just won the fucking lottery.
Oh my god.
That is
This
so
is the
cool.
best
Walk-
explanation of this story
walk-
I think
and
people
walk
will
away.
ever get,
I
by the
can-
way.
I'd walk away. I'd wait till I got around the fucking corner. I'd take my phone out. I'd take a picture of me holding the bag.
I'm so mad.
Put on Band Wants Popcorn, tag the location.
I'm
That's
so
that.
mad.
So it popped off.
I'm so mad because I could see Jake in like this dark. It's dark as hell out. The concert's going on. Jake's like, hey, can I 1 second? Real quick? Hey, and like, hey, Karen's just like,
You
what the
are a drug
Yeah,
dealer.
you are dark. You basically just
Bro,
you
that
gave me the
was it,
blueprint.
bro.
It's like, yeah,
That's
just,
it.
can you
Are you
just,
the popcorn
Can you just come here
kingpin?
real quick?
Do you have a
Just
problem,
quick,
Jake?
Real quick.
Just real quick.
I
Just 1
fucking
second.
love popcorn,
Hey,
bro. Popcorn's
Karen.
amazing.
Popcorn
Hey,
is incredible.
And Karen's like, what? Can I just have some popcorn? Like it's dark as hell out. And
I
Jake's
wish
like,
there
"Can I
was
have some
footage
popcorn?"
of this.
I would too.
So it's
Yo, know what's crazy? Some fucking venues started catching on, and I would get to a venue,
I'm
and there'd
so
be
mad.
boxes of popcorn with
Oh
Band
my
Wants
God.
Popcorn written on that
Fuck
shit.
yeah.
Oh
waiting
my
at the fucking
God.
venue.
So the best part about this is it was always the popcorn
At
for
the
you.
end
It was
of-
never for the band.
No.
Never. And I kept bringing it to him. And they'd be
Did
like,
Brendon
oh,
and
Band
them
wants
even eat the popcorn?
Brendon never wanted popcorn. And I'd go to the band, and I'd be like, I'd walk in
He
and I'd be
hated
like,
popcorn.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck
band,
popcorn, bro.
Band wants popcorn, Jake. Like cool. Again?
Band,
Like, yeah.
the band,
Popcorn again, Jake?
band, air
Such
quotes.
a good
Everything with you
photographer.
is organic, and then it somehow blossoms into like the most incredible backstory.
I think it's just ADD plays a huge role into that.
Hey,
just being like, oh,
it's working
popcorn.
for you.
Band wants popcorn.
So it slowly started catching on because you started posting, and then
Yeah.
I'm sure at first people were a little confused.
Dude,
like
the girls, the first.
at first,
so
were people like, "Okay,
people were very confused, and then it's just like I would like I'd be because you get access to the whole venue when you're there with the tour.
yeah."
So I'd be walking backstage, and I'd be like walking by like the downstairs underneath the stage and
Uh-huh.
shit, and I'd walk by and I'd like walk past a room and I'd like walk backwards a little bit and look in, and they'd
Yeah.
just be like fucking they do like big ass buckets, like bags of popcorn, like trash bags.
More
full.
than you could ever
And I'd walk
possibly
in and
consume.
I'd just fucking hug one and take a picture, set it back, and then dip out.
By the way, shout out Sam Chams, Jake's brother, for that popcorn bath video.
Oh, yeah,
I watched that.
popcorn bath
Shout out
video is
Sam.
pretty
That was incredible.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When I was searching Banwell's popcorn, you literally searched that on Twitter, and there was like the Twitter meme of like the person holding up the sign that just says Banwell's popcorn. It had like 700 likes.
Wow. Yo, no, what's crazy is the girl. I wasn't ever gonna make merch. It wasn't even like in my brain to do merch. Even my first piece of merch ever. Like I was like, I never even thought about it.
Your first merch was the popcorn, right? With
was
the
a
Jake
Banwell's
Chams
popcorn T-shirt, yeah. And I literally at a show one night, these 3 girls. I was walking. I think I was just walking in the concourse, and these girls were like signing something on the floor, and on the back of their T-shirt it said "Ban wants popcorn," or I think on the back it said "Ban wants," and on the front it said "popcorn." And I was like, "No fucking way!" And I tapped them on the shoulder, and they're like, "Oh, we made these," and I was like, "No, this is brilliant." So shout out those 3 girls, like
That's
for
incredible.
sure. They created the whole.
So
That's awesome.
All the merch ideas. Fuck's up.
Let's talk about Portland. Talk about Blazers a little bit.
Have we gotten like? Are you happy?
Oh, dude,
Bruh.
Are you
Good?
happy?
I'm happy. I get nervous about this shit.
You shouldn't be doing
This is
man.
the best interview we've done. We kept the camera rolling for the bathroom break. You know, we refilled a little bit. We're good
Okay, cool.
to the tail end of this, but the pop world to the EDM world. I mean, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but the tour life on that and just the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And even this is a part we always wanted to touch on, but the technique of the photography of the pop world versus that world. What's the difference? What's something that threw you for a loop or that you weren't expecting?
It's so different, man.
And are you ever hesitant when you get that whole like new type of offering? You're like, oh damn, like
I mean, I wasn't
great opportunity, but
yeah.
once you get into it, you're like, oh shit.
I wasn't hesitant at first. I've always been like, yo, whatever I get thrown, I'm gonna fucking go for it. And I think I'm still like that. But the difference, I never thought it was gonna be like that extreme. You know what I mean? There's genres in photography. You're a portrait photographer, you're a landscape photographer, you're a music photographer. You know what I mean? Like there's those
different avenues.
Different avenues within that world. Same as every other industry. But with that, I was like, yo, I'm a music photographer. I never thought in music photography you're an EDM photographer, you're a pop photographer, you're a rap photographer. It fucking exists, man, and you fucking learn. You have to learn how to shoot that shit so differently. Like I never knew I was gonna have to learn how to expose flames correctly on pyro from an EDM show. You know, like I was like,
interesting.
I was like, oh, I get some fireworks sometimes in this pop show, or like he jumps out of the toaster, so my shutter speed might have to be a little faster.
Right.
But I never knew I was gonna have to expose fire correctly. You know,
I'm sure this is something
wild, dude.
that when you say you're a concert photographer or music photographer, not a lot of people realize. Like if someone said I'm a sports photographer, they don't realize like the technique for NBA versus NFL, football, basketball,
shutter speed, everything's gonna be completely different.
So different.
Yeah, so it's its own field.
Yeah, I think for me I love when I get told like. If I get told like someone's not happy with like an end product, it like fuels me. Like I'm like, oh fuck, all right, next time it's gonna be like your favorite thing in the fucking world. Yeah. Because if you don't like it, I'm proving you wrong. Like you know, like I'm very stubborn like that. But I'm also huge at like liking my own work. So when I shoot like a new with EDM, when I first got into it, I was like, I'm not stoked on this. Why am I not stoked on this? Like I've been so stoked on my pop shit recently, and like stoked on my like Panic and Lorde photos. Why am I not so stoked on this? And I think it's taken me till just recently to be like, oh wait, I'm starting to be stoked on this now. I'm starting to get it. And I think it's because it's such like a huge. They're so different, man. Like shooting different types of avenues of anything is super different. So it's been fun learning. I love if I can learn every way to shoot everything, I'd be fucking stoked. That's the cool thing about photography or art in general. You're never done. Yeah. You're like. You could think you know everything about one topic and like suck at another one. Yeah. So I'm always learning here, but it's tight. Treat my camera like I treat like a paintbrush. You know?
How many cameras have you gone through?
Fuck. So many.
Because I know something a lot of people probably want to know is the highlights of tour, your best tour moments, and also I'm sure every photographer has that fucking day where something breaks, someone
Do you have a graveyard? It's somewhere in your house of just the cameras of
Bro, I got this shit beat out of me recently.
Jake's camera. I was wondering if we were going to touch on this.
I got the shit beat out of me at at a festival.
John's like,
and I shattered two cameras.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I was genuinely concerned for you when I saw you post this on your Instagram stories.
Yeah.
What can you take us through that night? What tour was this on too?
It was with Mello.
And you just got.
We were in Austria. and we were at a festival in Austria, and it was towards at the end of the set. Mello always takes like a group photo with the crowd, right?
The selfie style. Yep.
Yeah, or like whoever's taking like, a wide angle of like the crowd and him.
I'm assuming that's you that takes that.
Yeah, so I run up there at the end usually, and like being a concert photographer and videographer, especially when you're doing both, you have to fucking run around the whole fucking venue because you're trying to get. You have 2 hours or an hour and a half to get as many fucking photos as you possibly can.
Sorry, this is a side note. What is your pre-concert regimen? Is it a nap? Is it like Gatorade? No. Are you prepping like an athlete for this type of shit?
I think when it's a new client, I am definitely like going through the set and figuring out like at what point does this happen or at what point, especially
key moments, songs, and, like, placements.
Because like with a especially like pop or like the pop world. It's a performance, you know. Like people are moving, and it's a fluid, like it's an act, like it's like this is a fluid thing.
Yep.
So at point A, this happens. Point B, this happens. Like so, you're definitely like planning out where you want to be for those angles, trying to get every angle possible like, throughout the tour of that one moment. So like, there could be a dope moment where like, yo, you're on a piano flying over the stage or flying over the crowd. I can shoot this from 400 different angles.
Yeah.
Which one am I going to choose? Like, so I got 32 shows in this tour to pick out my favorite angles of this whole set. So there's definitely that. What was the question?
I was trying to remember. I had a question. It's like, well, I guess from a photographer's standpoint, how many pictures are you taking and how many memory cards are you going through in a night?
No. Before we get to this was a side note on the
we need to hear
venue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, getting the shit beat out of it.
Yeah, getting the shit beat out.
Yeah.
Completely straight away.
We're back, guys. We fished it back in.
We're here now. Yeah.
Drunk ass. So in the show he has a group photo or whatever.
Yeah. At the end of the show,
I'm out running around because that's where we went with
you got do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I took him on a different path. We're back.
So running around, I go back to get into the booth, and when I go to walk into the booth, there's like a total disconnect of language.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, no.
No.
And I'm like pointing at the pass sheet. I'm like, have my credentials.
This is me.
I was like, I can go.
I can
like,
go
I'm
anywhere
allowed to
I
fucking
want to go.
I can go. And he's like, no.
He probably thought
I talked with him for a good like.
But if you were a crazed fan, why would you have that camera equipment with you?
Camera. He saw me leave. He saw me walk out of the booth.
He was just being
he was just being like a try hard. Yeah, he was like super hard. So I was like, this is my fucking credential. Let me through. He was like, no, you're not going through. I was like, dude, I have a fucking job to do. I'm going. So I like shoved him out of the way. Not even shoved. It was more of like a duck under his arm and run.
You're passing by.
I was like, I'm just fucking. I was like, dip by. Go.
Duck and move. Duck and swim.
I started like fast walking. I wasn't trying to like sprint. I was just like being like assertive. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
I have my credential. I have my camera.
I'm good. Like,
Get
I'm
out of my
walking.
way.
So I like walked fast past him. I feel a motherfucker jump on my back. So I have this dude on my back.
Holy shit.
I go and I fucking throw him like he's on my back. So I roll him.
Are you in fucking Street Fighter?
So I roll him in front of me.
This is amazing.
And he comes over the front and hits the ground. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I look up, and as soon as I look up, there's like 6 secure giant-ass motherfuckers staring at me. All of them don't know who I am, see me throw their other...
I mean, to their defense, when they see that, they're probably like, this is like, a crazy motherfucker.
No, please, no. I was like,
were you in that moment when you looked around where you're like, oh, no.
This is the moment he knew he fucked up.
This is the moment Jake knew he fucked up.
This is not tight. So all of them come sprinting at me, and I'm literally I got thrown against like a fence, and I'm screaming like, fucking stop. I'm like, fucking stop, fuck you, stop. Screaming like, no, stop as much as I can. And luckily while I'm yelling, this dude in the corner who's a security guard at the venue
knew that you were in the right.
I was in the right, and he takes his phone out and he started recording it. And so he recorded it in the last like 15 seconds of the altercation. And I'm like, fucking let go of me. And you see me get thrown to the ground, and both my cameras.
Wait, he was just world starring it?
Yeah.
So he was world starring me, but I'm actually super grateful that he did. Because my cameras smack against the ground, they shatter on camera.
So he has the evidence that they did.
I get thrown to the ground. I'm like, fucking let me go. And I'm showing him my pass. I'm like, let me fucking go, let me go. Like screaming on the ground. And so they were like,
When you when you heard those cameras break, what was going through your mind?
I just didn't even know what to think. I was wearing my favorite shirt. I love anime, and I was wearing like my favorite. It's like
and it got ripped out.
My favorite.
I'm gonna get. What's your favorite anime?
My favorite anime of all time.
Please tell me right now.
Demon Slayer right now.
There it is.
But.
Oh my God.
Demon Slayer's tight as fuck. I like Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan. Anyway. I got a couple.
We're not gonna get into it anyway.
But I'm wearing my favorite shirt, and literally I go up on stage and my shirt's fucking like ripped in half, and one of my cameras is dead, the other one is like fucked up, and the tour manager just looks at me and goes, "What the fuck happened to you?" I'm like, "This is right." And I was like, "Don't want to talk about it." Take the photo. When we're leaving, he's like, "Yo, what happened?" I was like, "Dude, I got the shit beat out of me." He's like, "By who?" And Mello at this point is about to like take his helmet off. He's like, "Who the fuck was it? Who was it?" He's like all mad.
That's incredible.
All mad. So we get back to the room. The owner of the festival comes to the room, and he's like, "Damn. Our security guard says that your guy was being a fucking dick, that he was being out of hand, blah, blah, blah."
Hey,
blah.
Came to the room just to say that?
Blah, blah. And I was like, "Dude, what the fuck?
Of course.
Like, what are you talking about?"
Course,
I don't know.
yeah.
I literally don't know what you're talking
They're
about.
trying to defend their asses, yeah,
So
of course.
I go down, and this dude comes up to me, and he's like, "Yo, I have a video." And I was like, "No fucking way."
You're like, "Please give it to me."
God. So I was like, "Yo, please send it to me." So he like airdrops me the video. He's like, "Please don't tell anyone that I have." He's like,
Yeah,
"Work to
of
the
course.
festival." He's like, "I don't want to get fired. Please
Yeah.
don't tell anyone."
Naturally.
So I show the owner of the festival. I was like, "Yo, what about like this? Is fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
Look at this." He looks at the video. He watches it, and he's like, "So sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." So 2 cameras, 2 lenses shattered completely.
Did they comp it?
Fucked. Yeah, they had to.
They had to. You could say you're going to press charges, right?
There was like, if they didn't fix my shit, I was like, "Yo, this is fucked." Like,
Yeah.
I got the shit beat out of me doing my job. I was bleeding from the head. I had like blood. Dude, it was nuts.
But now,
Shit was wild.
That's nuts.
I'm not
Shit
gonna
was
lie though.
wild.
How many photographers can say they got into
Shit
a
was
like
fucking
casualty?
wild.
Like,
Bro, it was
you'd
fucking
be like,
wild.
"Yeah, dude. People may not know. Shit's
was a
mean
lot.
out here in these concert streets."
Yeah, it was a fucking lot.
So I think it's safe to say that answers the question. That's probably the craziest experience
That's like
you've had on tour.
I think that's the wildest experience I've had on tour for sure. We've seen a
that'd be
lot
hard
of
to
crazy
top.
shit. We've gone to like, we've done a lot. You can go look at
Fuck,
the
man.
photos and see
That's incredible.
shit, but I don't want to talk on
Yeah.
a lot of
Right,
it.
of course.
Yeah, so it's safe to say
but that's the most wild shit.
It's
that's
safe
happened
to
me,
say
personally,
tours differ and tours.
tour's a different world.
Tour
Yeah,
life
you
is just-
teleport and you kind of like black out and do this thing, and
You get used to the life of just no sleep and hotel to hotel.
you just get used to it, man. You get used to it until you get home, and I think that's the weirdest thing is coming home feels like vacation, whereas a lot of people going home feels like it's like I want to go on vacation.
Yeah.
You know.
So I know something a lot of people know about you, but maybe another side of you, your passions outside of photography. When you are home, I mean, you're home right now for the holidays. What type of things do you like to do? What are your passions outside of photography? I mean, I know you're snowboarding, skating, but do you still do that? And obviously we can talk about Twitch and like your passion for video games and how you got into all of that, of course.
I love gaming. I love snowboarding. I can't do it as much as I used to. I used to compete and all that shit, like freestyle and all that. But now it's like gaming and just like making shit for myself. I don't do that as much anymore.
Yeah.
I really want to get back into that. YouTube's like a huge outlet for me within the next year.
And that's your next goal, like vlogging. What are you trying to? Where are you
I
trying
think
to
that's
take all that?
honestly my next goal is like getting into like vlogs and maybe tutorial type videos and just explaining how I do shit
dope.
and you know what I mean, like
That'd be
that
dope.
whole outlet. I want to get into the YouTube world really bad, more personal branding
Mhm.
and maybe more into the gaming world.
Yeah.
And just like a lot more personal shit. I feel like I've been
Mm-hmm.
working. You can only work for like other people for so long before you get burnt out. Like
True.
I
do
can
it
keep
for-
doing
you
it
do
for
it for
sure,
yourself,
but I
yeah.
need to
True.
start being able to do some stuff for
Absolutely,
myself
yeah.
on the side. So
What are you playing when you're streaming on Twitch?
a lot of Fortnite.
Fortnite.
It was a lot
Is
of Fortnite.
Fortnite dead?
Fortnite's not dead. It's not as big as it was though, for sure. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty
It had
too.
its ceiling and it hit it, and then
Yeah.
it just kind of went like
yeah,
it went
but
crazy
it's gonna be like
at
League
this
of
point.
Legends, where it's like it's
Yeah.
forever gonna be a thing.
When you first started streaming, were
Yeah.
you kind of amazed and shocked that the Vro crew and the support
Dude.
of everything else transferred over to Twitch, and you have
fucking insane.
what's the most concurrent viewers you've had like on a stream?
I mean, I've gotten lucky and gotten hosted by
Brendon and
Courage.
Because I know Brendon
and Ninja.
Yeah.
I've never gotten hosted by Ninja, but Courage is hosting me.
Okay, you don't really need like I love Ninja, I love Courage, but if you have Courage on your thing, you're pretty good. Like
I've gotten lucky, but like my normal, I get like at least 200 people watching. Which is a lot.
It's a lot.
But it's like committed people that's commenting,
for
interacting. Sure. I mean, Twitch is a grind. Like
it's fucking nuts, man.
People stream with one viewer and 0 viewers for years.
People have stories about like waiting. Yeah, I mean, to get partnered, you need like 75 concurrent viewers, and people are like, "Yo, wait 6 years."
And it's like, isn't it like the first time you get your break and someone hosts you, and the next stream
like
you have followers, you have subs, and
that's
it,
nuts.
dude.
It's a crazy world. Twitch world's a crazy world. It's the next frontier for sure.
Yeah,
for socials.
I mean, that's
it really is like
whole nother
Dr.
conversation.
Disrespect got that TV deal that just like
got a TV deal.
Yeah, you didn't see that? He's writing. They're
doing something for Jimmy Kimmel, right?
No,
I saw him do a tweet for Jimmy Kimmel.
He did do. Yeah, I retweeted something he's doing with Jimmy Kimmel. Like I think it was yesterday
but
or 2 days ago.
TV thing?
But the creators of Walking Dead, they're going to create a series about his character that he created.
No way. About Dr. Disrespect.
About Dr. Disrespect.
Breaking news on the podcast, Jake. See, we provide only the most current pop culture news.
But like, you understand, like these, like the people that like want to be creative, like ourselves here in this room, and like Dr. Disrespect and Ninja and like Courage and all these people. Like, just to have the thought of like I'm gonna create like Dr. Disrespect is a character that he created,
character,
and then this character that he created this genre of people that just love him who he is, Dr. Disrespect. And now people are like, we'll create a TV show around your character. Mm-hmm. That's like the ultimate, like for a creative, that's like the ultimate avenue.
Dude,
oh my goodness. Great. Like create something and just like let people like, we fuck with that. Can we like help you?
So wild. His character's kind of dope too.
It is dope.
I support fully Dr.
What would your
Jake
Chams like alternate character be if you had to come up with one?
Bro, I don't know. I'm a clown. The cool thing about the Twitch community is everyone is so themselves that like I'm just like, yo, I can just kick it here and be dumb and like you guys.
But like that's how it is when playing video games in general. Like you're just like kicking it with the homies. Like
for
what
sure.
do you want to play? You want to play some Halo? Yeah, I want to play some
authentic.
Halo.
Yeah.
Was that your like release when you found that new community? Like that's kind of like when you're home from tour and like you're like, oh shit, like I enjoy doing this. Yeah. It's another outlet where like I'm just chilling, I'm being me, but I can still talk and interact with my supporters.
You know what? If you asked me this like a month ago, I'd instantly answer yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I still would answer yes. But I need to be a little careful because I've definitely gotten to the point where I feel like sometimes I use gaming and Twitch as a escape to not do other things. I'm like, yo, I can just go do this, and I can kind of like skate by with. I can use this as an excuse to play video games and as a distraction.
Yeah.
And I think recently I've been trying to cut back just because I want to get back to like. Yo, do I use those 7 hours to play games, or do I use those 7 hours to try to make a YouTube video and like do my own personal branding type shit? So just recently, I've been looking for an editor too, because I was like, yo, I need to like be able to maybe I do need to disconnect for 7 hours. Like maybe I do need those games for 7 hours, and then I just send that. You know what I mean? So I've been trying to find a balance. But
Jensen's eyes perked up when he said that. He's like, editor, you say?
Definitely need to find a balance, but it's definitely an escape for me, for sure. I fucking love it. And being able to communicate with the Row crew and everyone involved in that is fucking rad.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's
well,
man.
To speak on that, to cap things off too, I know, we got saved the best for last. We tweeted it earlier and teased it, but to wrap things up, of course.
We did. Yeah, man.
We got the questions.
We've been doing this for a while. See,
how long have we been doing this?
DJ,
you were all nervous.
This is
the
podcast game.
I still am nervous. I'm like,
what do you mean? We having a good time for like 2 hours now.
Like, is this good though? Are we happy?
Dude, it's better than good.
All right.
So we're gonna get into some of the Row Crew's questions that we tweeted out earlier, and then we got a little surprise for you at the end. Some older Jake Chams content that we might have to bring to life. Yeah. Nothing bad. Nothing bad.
No.
So we can go circle style
You're
here.
gonna make him more nervous.
And everyone go to
feel under attack.
What am I looking at, Jake?
To the tweet earlier, and then let's all just pick our favorites. Try to get to most of them.
Were there replies on that link, or was there just tweet replies?
No, yeah. There's enough. There's amazing replies.
Okay.
So I tweeted out basically earlier, just we're having Jake on talking everything, his story, music, photography, and more. And we got some responses, so let's get into it.
All right.
This is a good one from Pamela at Ride is Laugh. How long did it take you to consider yourself a good photographer? That is an interesting question.
Fuck.
You can also touch on your technique too, because I know that's something we wanted to touch on that some people don't consider that. Photographers have their own signature. It's like you're like, if you want to liken it to sports. I mean, we're a sports podcast still. We touch on that. Like Damian Lillard has his signature move. Photographers have their signature. Yeah. Whether it be edits, I'm sure where you position yourself, all that stuff.
Definitely. Damn. No, it's crazy.
That's a deep question.
For a long time, my Instagram bio was, "Can I call myself a photographer yet?" Which is like so crazy. It was like for the longest time.
That's a dope bio though.
Can I call myself a photographer yet?
I mean,
and I still
don't
feel
want anyone to jump up. That'd be dope merch. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
that might be the next Jake merch.
I still feel that way. Like I still feel. I don't know. I feel like I'm always learning, and I feel the day that I'm like, call myself
complacent.
Like, the day I become comfortable and I'm like, yo, I made it.
I'm a photographer.
It's like it's game over.
Yeah.
I'm
facts.
You know what I mean? Right. I'm still learning and I'm still figuring it all out day by day. So
love that.
Okay. I got a question from Jamie Bean.
Okay.
What are your goals for the next 5 years, 10 years, question mark? Are there any dream projects, personal or professional, that you're wanting to work toward? In the same vein, do you have blue sky projects? I don't know what that means. She put blue sky in quotations.
I feel like that means like
it's
dream
a lot.
Projects, maybe like big shoot for the stars.
Bigger type shit.
That was like 5.
Jamie? There was like 5 questions.
Great question,
Jamie. Great question.
I guess you can condense it into like where you're.
How about
that's still a tough question.
Let's start off with the first. Like, how about your 5-year plan? Do you have a 5-year plan?
5-year plan. I'm such like a sporadic person that like a 5-year plan scares me because it's like you get stuck on this idea, and if you can't make it, then you're not making it. You know, like I think for me, I have an end goal, which I think is I really want to start a creative agency for music photographers specifically.
That's incredible.
There's agencies for all sorts of the influencers.
That's a lacking space.
You know what I mean? Like it's a thing that doesn't really exist. There's one that started recently, and shout out the homies. It's called Curza, and they just started doing like a little bit of a agency type gig. But I think having like an overarching agency that could put on for music photographers and really back them, so they don't have to have the difficult conversations, and they can have time at home where they're not stressing about work, and they can have some sort of space. I think that's
more
huge,
comfortable,
and it's much needed in the industry.
And to add to Jamie's question, I feel like this is probably important. Are there any dream projects that are on your mind at the moment?
Yeah, man. I mean, for me right now, it's a lot more personal stuff. I really want to get more into like the YouTube space. I want to have galleries. I want to make a book.
That was someone's question. Actually,
someone
here.
Just to give him credit, at Miss_Crystal K said, "When can we expect Jake's book?" And there was literally like 8 question marks she used. So
really, damn, she's pressing
the Jake book. I
mean, Crystal's a bro. What's up, Crystal? I think I need. I wanted it to be for Christmas. I wanted people to be able to order it on Black Friday and then call it good.
Yeah,
and I've just gotten so fucking booked. So my goal is definitely early next year for an actual book. Cool. The issue is too, though, like it's like. If you get everything signed off and good to go because all the people you're working with. So I'm doing this all by myself.
A lot of hoops you gotta jump through.
All the merch, everything by myself. So bear with me. I'm figuring it out step by step.
I got you. All right, we got a kind of photography related question that I don't necessarily understand fully, but I'm sure you will. So from @RallyKZ, photography related question: are there any color grading styles in photography that you particularly like? Like yours has a slight film haze, to me at least, and Maddie Vogel's has lowered highlights, etc. Do you have any that you don't do but really enjoy seeing? Does that make sense?
I wish my photos looked like Maddie's. Maddie's an amazing photographer. No, I think that my personal style is like I really like looking for like a film look. I love shooting film. Film's like if I could only shoot film, I would. With Lorde, I only shot film. It was like my favorite shit in the fucking world. Obviously the turnaround for a certain artist needs to be way faster, so you can't shoot film all the time.
Totally.
Right.
But if my digital photos could replicate certain types of film, specifically like Portrait 400 for those nerds listening to me right now, if they could all look like that, I'd be very happy.
They're out there.
I like I really like blown out highlights, so I'm kind of opposite of Maddie, where he like pulls back his highlights a little bit. But yeah, there's that. Depends. You find your personal style over time, right? Like with everything.
Totally.
So, love it. I couldn't find any other ones that were like that. We answered so many questions during the course of this. It was just people mostly asking about kind of like the differences of life. But yeah, I mean,
you guys good? Do you need a drink?
I think they're good.
You sure?
They're
killing it.
We'll have a drink.
Hold on. Let me end it with a Blazer related question. Okay. How are you feeling about this season so far with the Blazers?
We got to come back to sports at some point.
Yeah, we'll just wrap it up with Blazers. How about that?
I'm upset, dude.
Yeah, okay.
I'm upset.
I think we're all upset.
I'm upset. I'm just bummed. I feel like I don't know, man. Why take something so good and like make it so bad? Someone needs to get fired, bro.
Yeah.
Who in the fucking?
Rough. It doesn't make
for
all
the Blazer fans that have lasted this long.
You know
our pain.
I literally told my mom yesterday. I was like, Mom, I've been a Blazer fan since I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore, man. I'm fucking sad.
It's rough.
I'm obviously gonna be a Blazer fan until I die, but I'm just upset.
Rough.
Like, when is it? It's another building year.
Yeah, it's every year. Yeah.
And I honestly, I was scrolling through your tweets because I just obviously did research.
Yeah.
Your love for Zendaya. I need to see. Now Jake's laughing.
There's a couple lovers.
I mean, you know, I see you creeping. I see you creeping on your girl Zendaya. What's up? You trying to holler?
We got a simple quote tweet. She pretty.
Zendaya's pretty, bro.
I mean, do you see any of us disagree?
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. Like,
Zendaya's a babe.
He said, I literally screen captured. It says retweet to save a life, and it's just pictures of Zendaya. And I was like, Jake,
my man Jake is shooting.
You're shooting your shot, bro.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Damn, bro. She's beautiful.
Do you hear any of us disagreeing with you?
Gorgeous,
oh my
man.
God.
If there was an opportunity, if you saw Zendaya,
where's your pickup line?
Your shot?
What's your pickup line?
The issue here.
There's no issue.
No, there is.
There's no issue.
The issue here is I'd have a camera around my shoulder, and Zendaya would look at me and instantly think I was paparazzi.
Okay.
And I'd be like, fuck.
Hey, if you caught her out and maybe she was shooting a movie in Portland, you could take her to
Zendaya, wait,
cafe.
I'm not a paparazzi. Wait.
Maybe a nice cafe.
I've
cup
had
of coffee.
so many celebrity crushes. I'm glad you guys didn't dig a little.
We won't go to. Yeah,
we're not going to get to
that.
I know your love for Zendaya is very strong.
Zendaya is up there for
She's
sure.
Up there.
Sometimes I just give up. I'm like, yo, maybe one day.
Could happen.
Beautiful thing.
I could even,
Before
just take you to coffee. So
coffee's a good date. It's a good date. I was gonna say before we wrap things up, we don't need to answer these questions, but just because you guys took the time to tweet at us, shout out to you guys because this is all
shout out all you fucks.
Seriously, this is all stuff that Jake covered throughout the interview. So if you've made it this far, your question was answered.
Is it too late to ask if I can curse on here?
Bro, I told you before.
It's a free-flowing podcast, dude.
If you had
do whatever you want at this point.
We were gonna say no, it's too late at this point.
Yeah, you fucking can. Let me tell you.
But just real rapid fire. Cuttlefish. She said, ask Jake about Panic at the Disco, his accidental creation of the Vro movement, Banwat's Popcorn, his friendship with Brendon, Fortnite,
we talked to
all of those.
and his whirlwind of a year. Vros and Jake.
This last year has been fucking insane. I couldn't ask.
Congratulations, you created your home base here in Oregon, by the way. Congratulations on the house. Man. Grant here, also a new homeowner. Was I not supposed to dox you on that info?
Buying a home
today?
Yeah, got the
buying a home is fucking stressful,
dude. It is. I am so stoked to be done with that.
Are you freelance or you not freelance?
No,
I
don't even.
No, he works somewhere else.
No, I know.
Because we're freelance. I'm like,
freelance
we know the stress
is
of that.
Shit show trying to buy a home. But I mean,
I see. Yeah, I see.
You have a house.
I have a house.
We got the one about Jake's book. We got one. John talked about the one from Jamie. Panic fan _34 said, "What's the funniest moment on touring with Panic? Hardest aspect of tour life? How does balance personal relationship with the Panic team while staying professional?" We touched on that.
I hate them all.
Well, moving on. Just kidding. We touched on Jake's book. We got one from Angie that says, this is interesting.
Okay.
She said, what did the amazing Bebo ever do to Jake?
Fuck that puppet.
What?
Puppet? Child.
Okay, moving on.
All right.
No, fuck Bebo. Fuck the amazing Bebo and everything he stands for. I hate him.
this like a horror movie?
I don't know. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Fuck everything he stands for.
Fuck the amazing Bebo and everything he stands for. Smelly piece of shit.
Melissa Vro says, "What was it like adjusting to life on the road for the first time you went on tour?" We touched on that.
At first it was easy, and then it got real hard.
I'm sure. We touched on Jake's goals.
I painted my nails today.
And then shout out the nails.
Yeah, man.
Go Bees.
I'm gonna do this forever, bro.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah, not bad.
And then Angie, who asked about Bebo, followed up right after and said, "In all serious, Jake is an amazingly talented photographer. What is your favorite thing about touring with different artists?" We kind of touched on that difference of photography style.
Questions are good, guys.
Shout out you guys. I'm really, really, in a serious note as we wrap this up, really excited for all of you guys to watch this. I think
I'm nervous.
I
hope you guys enjoyed it.
More don't be nervous.
Sometimes
don't be nervous.
I feel like
in a good way.
Sometimes I feel like
it's out in the universe now, bro.
I'll say certain things and then I wish that I said like more, or I never wish I said something different. I feel like sometimes I'm like, all right.
I'm not exaggerating. This is the most.
I feel like I wish I said.
I think this is the most in depth we've gone. It's the realest we've gone. It's the longest we've gone.
Definitely the longest.
How long is this? 3 hours?
Like,
I went back there. It was
2
about
hours,
2 hours.
15 minutes.
YouTube is gonna be sweating as I upload this. Just saying, but. This is beautiful.
Luke is sweating right now. He's like, I have to render this.
That's good.
No, that is like.
That's good.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Are you guys gonna chop it up?
Well, we're gonna upload it in full, and then we'll chop up.
Okay.
See, this is the videographer in him is like, how's this going on?
He's like, so are you gonna send it to me so I can chop it up?
Please get rid of a lot of.
No. Well, you'll see the final cut. Of course, it'll be uploaded in segments.
Okay, cool.
But the full interview will be out there. But I think, in all seriousness, a lot of this is going to inspire people. A lot of this is going to give more insight into the mind of a creative, the mind of you. Cool. Our listeners even, or maybe just be sports fans, because we have listeners from all around the world that kind of listen, for different aspects of the podcast. But I think this is a whole new side of, something that
I love it. I think you guys should do more of this.
You're an open individual who wants to. I seem like you
change
want
things.
You want to help others
Impact
as well.
Things.
As much as as uncomfortable as you may seem right now, which I know you're not. At the end of the day.
You don't come off that way. You come off as It was a very open interview.
It was absolutely
a lot of stuff I shared. It was a lot of fun. I mean,
first time I've done anything like this. Thank you guys.
Hopefully it gave kind of a platform.
Tequila definitely helped
to speak to all the people who.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more of this, especially nowadays with how prominent digital media especially, is becoming in the world. Like, there's so many people doing these gigs, and you don't hear like, "Hey, yo, what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram?"
Yeah, it's just artificial.
What's your Instagram? All right.
Shout out everyone's. Go follow them,
and we'll link them in the bios.
Of course.
Yeah. So but there's definitely what's your?
But there's a lacking of.
There's a lacking.
I already tagged you, Jake. We're friends.
At Jake McGrady on Instagram.
I follow you, but you don't follow me, asshole. No, I'm joking.
There's a lacking. There's a disconnect between the work and the what people see.
I think this kind of lifted the curtain on some aspects of that.
So yeah,
definitely.
It gave a real aspect to it.
It humanizes people that think that like. People like Jake, they're just like,
he's a
photographer, his life's
roses,
normal. No. This man moves at 1,000 miles per hour.
And works for what he's got.
And he works his ass off.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely. So
apprate all the time. This was way longer than we wanted in a good way. Cool. Like we got a lot of good shit.
We probably could talk to you for the next 3 hours.
Yeah,
but it's also I'm
gonna say there's gonna need to be, you're going to accomplish a lot more and do new things. There's going to need to be a part 2. You're always welcome. There'll always be tequila.
Trying to get some more into this world. So
I mean, this is I think as you said, personal brand, showing your personality. This shows your true self. And I know I like to watch. I've watched 2-hour interviews with people just at work.
For sure, same.
Because it's authentic.
2 hours with someone on a real podcast where they're not sitting, with makeup in front of like MTV cameras or some shit like that. Like
Definitely.
It really lifts the curtain on who someone is as a person, and us and our second string listeners are very thankful for having you.
Thank you guys for having me. Seriously.
Any last statements to you?
I just want to say shout out you guys. I want to say thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I want to say mental health is a real thing, and
be
very cautious about it.
Go to therapy if you need it.
And I mean, just
talk to someone.
Be honest.
Don't overwhelm yourselves if you are pursuing something as a creative.
For sure.
Very important. Honestly,
be yourself and love yourself for who you are, and that's about it. I just want to make sure people know that. So
thank you.
Good shit.
Well, Well, that was our amazing sit down with Jake Chamseddine. You can follow him at Jake Chams on Twitter and Instagram. Keep up with his, also, happy holidays, everyone. This is coming out before Christmas or
Hanukkah.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Hopefully the eggnog is flowing. Seriously, happy holidays to everyone.
Budweiser.
Yeah, shout out Budweiser. Keep in tune with everyone here. Once again, I am Jake.
I'm Grant.
I'm John Warner.
And we had Jeff, our LA co-host, too.
He's not John Warner. I'm John Warner. He's a liar.
You can, if you've made it this far.
No, I'm John Warner.
This is
John Warner?
This will be a tradition that's fun for Jake. So it's a tradition on the podcast, every single podcast at the very end, to weed out the true listeners and the dedicated people that have listened through hours plus of content.
Yep.
We come up with a fun little hashtag that was something we talked about. And we encourage people to tweet it at us and find
and then you guys go and like it.
Whatever gift that's associated.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we have had some strange hashtags for every show.
What?
So for everyone that's listened this far, what should the hashtag be for the Jake Chamseddine episode?
Damn. Holy shit. All right, give me a second.
We talked about so much, it could literally be anything.
Literally anything.
Fucking anything.
Hashtag I got the shit beat out of me. Is that cool?
I like that. Yep.
Does that work?
We'll go with it.
No, I love that.
He got the shit beat out of him for doing his job.
We've had even weirder than that,
I got
if you can
the
imagine.
shit beat out of me.
We've had worse than that, yeah.
I shit out of me.
Are you willing? Yeah. So you're going to get an influx of tweets if people have made it this far.
I got the shit beat out of me.
If you've listened this far, I want you guys to.
This is a cry for help.
People are going to see this
He's
on people's,
crying right now.
on people's timelines and be like, oh my God, are you okay, man?
Yeah.
He seems like he's okay, but he's not okay.
If you've made it this far,
he's suffering.
hashtag I got the shit beat out of me. Tweet it at Jake Chams at Second String Show. That's 2ND String Show. Of course, we got the links in the YouTube bio and whatnot. We will find if it's appropriate, find the funniest GIF that happens when you search that on Google, and we'll interact with you. We'll shout you out on the next podcast. We'll follow you guys back.
Can I just say this has been awesome? Thank you guys for having me. This is fucking weird. I've never done anything like this, so this is bizarre.
Well, I think you have more in your future because I think this is incredible.
So.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
So,
appreciate it.
Jake, John, and Grant of the Second String Show. You can follow us at Second String Show, Twitter and Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes. Give us a follow. If you guys liked it, I know this really helps out on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Throw us a little 5-star rating. Maybe drop a fun review. Talk about Jake. We might get a few funny ones.
Talk about how cool golden doodles are.
Yeah.
Puppies?
Puppy. Give me
They're
a
cool.
golden
Okay. They are cool.
That's a fair. That's
Subscribe
a fair
to us on YouTube,
Golden
unless you're
pretty
watching
cute.
this on YouTube. Once again, Jake Chamseddine. This is Second String Show. We covered a lot. Yeah. Happy holidays, and
Peace.
Appreciate you, man.
Go,
yeah,
Thank you,
appreciate
have
you
another
guys
cup
having
of
me.
tequila.
Thank you.